Okay, welcome everyone. Hello. Welcome one and all. We return to a campaign, the first in the first age, a period of time in which videos will be coming out about the histories of. As soon as I can convince one of our players to sit down and do some voice acting for me again. Uh, he's not working doubles every day. Um, Soon Cook and Chester will be able to come back and do our voice acting for all of the first age lore as we start to develop this time period. But welcome for those who are watching. Welcome to the Ironheart Craftsman Company playthrough. We are starting off in the first age, and I am of course joined by three lovely players. That they'll get to introduce their characters in a minute. But I am, of course, joined with Chaston,
What's up?
Cameron,
Hey.
and then Grumpy.
Hello.
And then we got Wolf hanging out in the background as he's here.
Ominously
We're
typing.
being stalked by the guy that betrays everybody.
He's not even in session. You're not even being stalked. Calm down. Yes, so we joined back. For those wondering, if you haven't watched the video already, the first age campaigns will all be in 3.5. 3.5 edition for Dungeons and Dragons. If you're not familiar, I highly recommend checking out the material. There are 4 campaigns going on during this time period. Unfortunately, Saturday is my first testing group as we switch from D&D Beyond over to World Anvil with our lore and everything else. So if you want to follow along with the campaigns, see updates, and check out all of the lore that poor Chaston has to sit there and edit, feel free to come check us out on World Anvil under the name Slencia, just like in the title of the channel. Otherwise, feel free to sit back, grab a drink, and let's begin, gentlemen. Last time we left off was like 6 months ago.
6 months.
It was the end of the timeline.
The Age of the Age of Monsters had come to a close. Sieko had managed to cut down his enemies. The parties had managed to complete some minor goals, change the world, and of course the greatest upsets were Durali and Stumpy's ascension. Well, Durali's ascension to beyond godhood, and Stumpy's the god he championed ascension to beyond godhood. We start back in a time period vastly different from what the parties are accustomed to. A world yet discovered, a story yet to be told, a time period of mythos when magic has yet to even be unfolded. A world where bronze armors and weapons can be found, single cities developed into entire nations, armies would clash, and the greatest heroes of mythos would be born. And then unfortunately we have this lot.
Just a couple of dudes.
I knew that's where this is going.
3 guys in a cart with a mule.
We got a mule.
To be fair, 2 guys and a girl.
Yeah.
We got
Oh,
two
yeah.
guys, a girl, and a mule.
I
We're
am
set.
playing a female this time.
A world where heroes are writing, villains change the world, the precipice of history is being defined, and nothing is truly known. This will be a campaign that goes to level 40, where the party members, at least for Saturday, for those who are joining us in the Ironheart Company Co., will be doing our side campaign is what we're calling this. So for those who enjoy a little less serious D&D, a little less political intrigue, a little less I have to save the world because the gods are trying to kill us, come join us on this little side questing, adventuring, exploring the world, and seeing where this small merchant company will go as we join it or drop in.
Join us as we fuck around and really find out.
Truly. A world where magic has yet to see past 3rd level. The players will be inventing a lot of their spells, all those who aren't divine casters. The arcane art still being explored. Items not yet having reached even past the very lowest tier of uncommon. For even the most advanced craftsmen. And world leaders who in the background are constantly plotting to kill one another. This is an age of truly great turmoil and chaos that will see a redefining of what the world and the histories could be as we go forward. We start in an age not recorded, In truth, the year unknown. The party having no concept of calendars besides the very basics of the seasons at the time, and some few nations having developed amongst their nobles a proper calendar system. This group of merchants find themselves traveling, coming to a new land, a city known as Dragon's Crown. A city well known to be ruled by the largest empire and the capital of the largest empire in the world at this time, the Empire of Movasi, or the Draconic Empire. Ruled by Movasi, a dragon of great renown who had managed to put down 3 other ancient dragons single-handedly by all outright. As the party would find themselves in this city, a city well known for its 8 towers that peak into the skies around the giant mountain at the center. You all find yourselves having just gotten past the guards. Little favor to one of our players. As you manage to find yourself kind of in the main street, bustling around you. It is early in the season still. I believe we are, if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a little bit since I didn't check this, so give me one sec. I think we are starting in spring, if I'm remembering correctly.
That is what
you up.
I remember you saying to me.
But let me...
I don't know what season it's supposed to be.
Takes me 2 seconds to look it up. No, apologies. Let me pull this real quick. Because that's in my settings for when I started you guys out, I believe. So just give me 2 seconds to pull it up. Because I don't want to fuck that up here. Because that is actually quite important. So give me 2 seconds. Did I really not put a fucking... It wouldn't be a campaign if there wasn't one minor mistake at the very beginning to throw everything off.
Look, there's always scuff in D&D.
I think it is supposed to be like spring because you talked a lot about how the Throy Queen are probably going to be in a frenzy, or we're going to be,
Yeah,
because they came out of hibernation and stuff.
Yeah, let me see if I actually put a... Because I know you guys are all starting the same as Sunday. I think the difference is I forgot to put the mention of when you guys were doing yours, because your campaign came up as a last-minute thing.
Sprink is good.
Yeah.
Spring?
Spring?
Yeah, Sprink.
New season.
Yep, Sprink.
New season just dropped, boys.
Let's unbox it. Let's get all the content out. Go.
No.
No, this is Friday. That's Friday's thing. Hold
God
on.
damn it, no.
Don't steal my character's thing.
Alright. Let me just take one last check of one thing, because there's 2 timelines I have, and I know I haven't mentioned what timeline you guys are on.
We're on the worst timeline. Got it.
We're probably on the better side party, to be honest.
It is the start of spring. Okay. I did have it as that. Okay.
Yippee.
Woohoo!
Because I just had the original date, so this should have been, yeah, so I see the months. Okay. So this should have been in 4. There we go. So I had originally started you guys in October, but I see where I changed it. Okay. All right. So yes, we start in the early spring. The plants in the distance, or the sun in the sky, still kind of warming the air. The smell of fresh rain from the night before. Very much on the road still, and many of the potted plants and other small gardens, you can still smell the vibrant dew coming off of. The sense of freshly baked bread, people starting to open up shops as the businesses start to people start to wake up, and the city starts to come alive. You look about, and as you see, Dragon's Crown, while a massive, humongous city compared to what you all of you have seen before, being at this point as we join in only with Rolaman and James, you all look... I got ahead of myself. You have all been recently traveling here after stopping in one of the home territories to stock... Or one of James's home territories to stock up. Having managed to set up with one of your shops, one of your family members, getting a couple of supplies here and there, our group of adventurers now find themselves entering into the city of Dragon's Crown.
Aunt Beatrice is so nice to help us out.
We'll get to that. Oh yes, yes. The city itself, surrounding the large mountain where the dragons themselves make their home. The city, well populated with many kobolds and other subspecies of many of dragonkin-like creatures, that seem to slightly tower over the rest of you as you walk. Many dressed with extreme colors popping off their clothing or armaments, all wearing many artisan like gear. The city itself is noted for boasting some of the grandest magical schools in the world. However, like many of the city's secrets and other fascinations, none have yet to reveal or become relevant to our small time adventurers who we join back as they walk through the gates. Having finished hassling with the guards and begin to walk through. Um, as you begin to enter the city, James, why don't you go ahead and start off with introducing your character?
I am. I'm gonna get so much shit for my last name, but I am James, but my full name is James Dreg. I do believe I went with Treasure Horn as my last name, a mixture of the two clans that got together to birth me. I have been alive for 84 years and have spent most of that time training as a merchant and craftsman in many professions, with the hope of one day setting out on my own. I am a cleric, magic and war domain, which means that as people increase the arcane spells in the world, my spell list also increases to whatever arcane spells are currently discovered.
Okay. As James begins sauntering down the street, having stared at one of the guards who seemed to give him the stink eye after a little too much hassle, we pan over to our other member. Would you like to introduce yourselves, Rolaman?
Yes, my name is Rolaman Guntos. A very interesting person. Doesn't really look much like any other race. He stands about 6'5", quite a tall person, but he has slightly elven features. For any that might know that, since that's not really common on this continent.
Yes. For those who don't, for the note during the first stage, the elves are a people at this time still considered primitive and not yet a race recognized as fully sentient. They are still looked upon as more property than as a people. Many wandering bands can be found similarly. As you two enter into this town, though, you start to see a couple of kobolds, some dragonkin, a few orcs, gnolls, ogres, tuertas, and testudola, deerco, and giants. Many mixed of races kind of thrown together, having different tattoos and markings to represent their different kind of slave state. As you kind of start to walk around on the main street, looking at a couple of the businesses here and there, you notice a strange or a dragon or a kobold, as you know them, kind of eyeing you lot up, as if
As we walk with our mule.
yes. As you start to head into town with not only a small little wagon, but a very large, hairy mule. Essa, would you like to describe yourself?
Yes. I am playing Essa. I am a combat ranger, which, unlike rangers, I get a few more abilities, but I do not have any divine power whatsoever, so I'm closer to fighter. Her scales are pure black. Her claws are have like a silverish hue to them, as denoting her dragon heritage. And her eyes are stark green. The notable thing is she's wearing no armor and has no melee weapon you can see. She just has a fucking short bow on her back and a quiver.
Okay, as you look over, she seems to keep eyeing you up. As you know, she kind of standing in front of a very large building. This massive-looking guild almost looks like a Norse long hall with very thick red-looking trees that seem to kind of make up the main stable points of the three pillars in front of it. In front, you see a sign kind of over the on one of the pillars in front of the doorway. A large pair of what looks to be hands in front of a large forge behind it. And then below it reads Forge Hands Guild.
I will look to James, and after getting the stare from that Dragonkin, I will
Kobold.
tell him, Kobold, watch your pockets in these cities. Pretty easy to lose your coin.
Luckily, most of my coin was already spent getting us in here.
That's fair.
As he says that,
But-
Essa, roll a listen check for me. See if
Yeah.
you hear that.
Let's see. Let's do my modifier to listen. I have a +6 to listen.
There you go. With what ears?
Hey.
That's species.
The ear holes. Listen, he's been a victim of it.
I'm also a victim of it. You know how dragons treat the fucking kobolds?
Yes, I do. Very poorly.
God damn.
That's a 25.
As you're kind of standing there eyeing up this party, you remember hearing from the guild member that a group of merchants were supposed to be passing through here, looking for jobs and looking for general like work. That might be willing to hire you on. You kind of hear them mention this comment as the tall one that you don't really you recognize the race almost immediately, having seen these in your homeland as groups of wanderers and very often used as slaves. You recognize the half elf that is Rollman. You're not sure what his other half is, as he's kind of big for his size. But you hear this almost immediately as he makes this comment.
I'm not a thief. What?
Sorry. What'd you say?
I said I'm not a thief.
Oh, sorry. It's just, can't trust anybody around here.
Yeah, the guild leader told me a merchant group is coming, and I've been looking for work. I figured that was.
That might be us. It's
Really?
a pleasure.
What was
to
the
meet you.
name?
Essa, from what? Go ahead and I'm gonna say, Essa, you don't really remember. Good old. Give me a minute. I was looking for my name here. Hugo or Hogo mentioning a name. Just that they would have a very weird looking banner that you wouldn't recognize normally.
Old Hogo didn't give me a name, just that it would be a banner that looks out of place. He doesn't really talk.
Point to the banner that's on the side of the cart.
Yeah.
Out of place. It looks great.
Hey. Ironheart. It took a while to come up with that.
Yeah, it just looks different than most other merchant companies' banners.
As you see
Really?
a group of kobolds walk past with a very large merchant company that you recognize as the Golden Hands, and their banner is a very solid draconic, like scaled or draconic claw with golden scales going down in different gemstones throughout it. As they kind of walk past.
I'm just gonna watch them as they go by. Yeah, we're a bit smaller, and we focus more on the craft than the money making right now.
That'll be soon change when we make it big.
I mean, that's great and all. I'm not really in it for that much money. I'm just looking for a group to travel with more often than not.
Really?
Well,
What's
you're
your name?
welcome
I'm Essa. I do tracking jobs usually, but I'm pretty all right with the bow.
Can I see your bow?
Yeah,
if you
sure.
wouldn't mind.
I'll hand over. It's a standard short bow.
I'd like to take a good look over this bow and see how well the construction is.
That I will say is going to either be, if you have craft bow making, you can roll that, or an appraise check. I'll take either.
I will go with an appraise check because I'm better off in that.
I'm not much of a.
That is a 15.
But I make poison for hunting purposes, so.
The bow looks to be pretty average quality. From what you can tell, nothing special, nothing like wrong with it. Just what you'd expect a normal hunter to have.
It's a fine bow. Nothing wrong with it. I'll pass it back and be like, but be happy to have you along. You can call me James. I won't bore you with the full name.
It's very long. Can I do give a up and down look at them and like see if they seem like an alright hunter or tracker, as they said?
Yeah.
As a mercenary in the past, do you think that would be that would be a good?
I'm gonna say for that, let's do gather information for it. I feel like that's fair.
Gather information.
Yeah.
All right.
Since you're not really trying to
I
see
gotta
if they're
find
telling
it.
the truth or
All
not.
right, +1. Well, +2 technically. Actually, no, +1. If I can type.
I feel that pain.
Well,
Looking him up and down, his base gear, I mean, it's very similar to what you'd expect on a common hunter. You also kind of looking him up and down, he looks to be well off, like physically muscled in the right areas for what you'd expect. He's definitely not built, or she's definitely not built. Well, you can't tell if it's a full female yet, as it's very at this point you're not
Yeah, the
recognizing.
dragon and stuff don't really look that different between
No.
genders.
So,
Alright.
again, going with the fact that you don't, even the voice can be, even higher voice can still indicate a male dragon that just likes to be more vocal or shrilled sounding. Again, very hard to tell. But yeah, looking him up and down, he looks to be theoretically capable. I mean, you don't see anything that's obvious that shows like a limp or any weaknesses on him that would give off a, oh, I'm lying about this.
All right. And my name's Rollerman, and I'll lean down. How tall is Essa?
I am 5'8".
Okay.
I am the short one.
Yeah, the dragon I take answers from is not the biggest of dragons.
And I will lean down slightly and shake my hand out to shake.
Yeah, I'll shake with him. Why not?
As you do, you notice S's hands are, you do feel the callus. And definitely can tell this is someone who knows how to work a bow. They've got a strong grip, as you kind of start to notice, Rollerman.
Then I will nod.
I'll reach up and offer my hand as well to shake. It's good to have you along, Essa.
Pleasure to be along. I'll do my best. Not to
This is because this is my mule.
Our mule, sorry.
Our mule. We call him Kick. If you want to for the dwarvish.
As you look over, you see this kind of very woolly looking mule that is about the same size as what you'd expect of a working horse in these areas on like farms and such, but is fluffy, like with very well taken care of fur.
All right, I'll pet him. I have a really high score for animal stuff.
I was saying, roll. What is it?
Animal handling, I think
I don't think
is still a
handling.
thing.
Is it still a thing?
I think so.
It's handle animal.
Yeah, it's
handle animal.
That's what it is.
Oh
I
man.
don't think it's animal handling. I think it's go ahead and roll. See what happens.
If I roll poorly, this is my highest modifier. I'm gonna be sad.
I'm gonna laugh.
Man.
Above a 10.
You end up pet him. I mean, he's soft. He's really soft as you start to feel the silky smooth. You can definitely tell he's well fed. As he kind of like leans into your hand and then starts to get really close to you and brings the entire wagon and starts to lean on you, and you start to feel his weight.
You're a friend, aren't you?
He neighs once more and then starts to start just basically leaning all of his body weight onto you.
All right.
Strength check real quick.
I'm
see
gonna.
if you can manage.
Oh.
Go ahead, James.
I was gonna say I'm gonna pat his chest and to get him to pull back a bit so that he doesn't topple over with the wagon.
I'm not the fifth strongest.
I was gonna say, give me a reflex, save.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, give me a reflex save, James, to see if you can pull it before he can.
I'll say my strength is
That's
the
a
lowest.
10.
As you go to kind of like rush in and pat, the mule starts to lean, and you watch Essa kind of fall back onto the stairs, and the mule stops suddenly as it feels the pat on the chest and like uprights itself and kind of like looks over and then like kind of backs up a bit.
Well,
You're good, buddy. You're good.
How
Good job.
about we discuss what kind of split we're working with here over some food, huh? We've been traveling all day.
That'd probably be good. A meal for
No.
us and for big old boy here.
Yeah, you know where there's a stable here?
I mean, I imagine I would, right? Damn, I've been here like a week.
The only place you've seen is the inn you know of that has a stable open for people this low income, from what you can tell.
Okay. I know one. Yeah.
Fucking broke. Why? Don't have to call me out on it. Dang it.
Well, it's just more of the fact that like the merchant companies, as you watch kind of pass by and doing business, most of the ones that are traveling are very wealthy and have full like small
Yeah.
mercenary companies following them around. You lot
Mhm.
are kind of an oddity.
Man, we're flat broke, pretty
Because
much.
you're traveling without a full bodyguard. Like that's weird to most people. But yeah, as you are kind of as you look them up and down, kind of getting a rough appraisal, you can tell they can afford cheaply what you'd expect of maybe a normal adventure. And as you kind of start to turn and head down the main road to lead them, you see the other merchant companies have kind of split off and gone towards what would be the noble district for the ones that you had seen earlier and heading towards that kind of market. Um, as you lot pass by, though, you continue. You see a couple of shops pop up on the main road. A small, smithy that you can see a black kobold kind of smacking at with a hammer. A apothecary with that seems to have all of its windows tinted, but has a very simple sign on it that shows that it's a potion shop. Um, as you continue walking down, as you get closer towards the core mountain where you can see a tunnel that goes in and then kind of what looks to be kind of elevates up from a distance, Essa kind of suddenly turns to the left and takes you down one of the smaller side roads. It's a little less improved. It's a bit more dirt and mud rather than the loose cobblestones you're kind of accustomed to from the main streets. And more like a dirt path outside of the city. As you start to head down, you see a pretty decent sized white painted building that seems to stand on two large pillars off the ground about 10 feet and has a staircase kind of going up into it. You see someone suddenly getting tossed out of a large shuttered window. This really large kobold who almost looks similar to Essa in like the scale color but seems to be almost 3 times as wide. As they get chucked out of the window, landing on the ground, and completely seem to get knocked out from the impact. Um, you see the stables slightly behind the building, having been elevated, that have set up and have stairs that seem to go back up into an entrance to the inn itself. The inn itself, as you notice, most of the buildings in this town seem to stand around 3 to 4 stories high, which for James and Rolliman and Essa, since you've all kind of done a bit of traveling, that's not well known or very common to see. Most buildings don't go above 1 because most towns don't get that big. This is considered one of the largest cities that you've seen in a good while.
All right, this is the frozen bed. It's where I've been staying, and it's also a general store for adventuring gear.
Well, that's
All
good
right.
to know.
I'll go ahead and tie up BK.
Yeah, as you
All right, I'll head inside.
As you head around the side, Rolliman, you see a stable boy who kind of like a very small kobold, an actual kobold, who kind of looks up at you and smiles as his green scales kind of light in the minimal sunlight that's popping through the stables. You see a couple of other, some landerkin that have been put off to a couple of stables. A very large bison that has a very strange looking like rocky hide that seems to have been set up. And then one large stall set off to the side as the kobold kind of comes around, looks up at you, and goes, "What can I do for you, good sir?"
I just need to tie up my mule and cart over here.
That'll be one. That'll be one emerald hill, or plain.
All right.
That's the equivalent of a copper.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll do that. I
Goes,
assume I have my remaining money in common
Yeah,
denotions, right?
I'd have you. You'd be able to split it pretty easily. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Give him one copper.
He takes it. And he goes, "All right." And you see him bite into it. And one of his fangs pierces through it, and he looks at it and goes, "Ah, not from around these parts." As he pockets it.
No, sir, I am not.
He nods and he kind of starts moving over BK and starts setting up the little wagon. And he goes, "All right, it's here until the morning. If you get a room, you can come back down here and get half off if for every day you want it stored."
Sounds good.
He kind of smiles and goes, "Oh, and don't go out at night." As he kind of turns to start kind of petting down BK.
Why not?
And he goes, "Well," as he kind of turns and you see his scales get a little more pale, and he goes, "Local slavers are out at night and they like to pick up anyone that's not dragon. Dragon kin are allowed to walk, but if you ain't one of the nobles or one of the high-end merchants, they'll pick you up and sell you as much as they're willing to leave you be. And they got some big drake kin around here that'll pick you up."
I assume I've never heard of this in any other city, right?
No, it's not. It's not common to Shanghai since there's such an availability in most nations to get slaves. That yeah.
Thanks for the heads up. And I'll toss him another copper.
He nods, he smiles, and as he grabs it, he goes, "Of course, I'll get your mule a nice fresh set of apples." As he kind of turns and starts kind of digging through some chests. Um, as
I'll go inside.
Yeah, as I say, James and Essa. Essa, I assume you're gonna follow James up to the inn.
Yeah,
Okay.
I may as well.
You kind of walk up the creaky wood stairs. You get up to the first level. Of course, there's it's just kind of turns and curves back up. Get up to the second level, and as you see the nice little open porch that seems to have been on the raised inn, a couple of people are out there drinking and eating, having casual conversations. Some local adventurers. It looks like that you kind of recognize Essa, but no one in particular that you've associated with before. Um, as you open the as you both go to open the doors, the smell immediately impacts to you of fresh meat being cooked, the smell of spiced ale on the air, the laughing, the warmth from the fire that's going throughout, and people running about as a couple of kobolds and dragonkin seem to kind of walk about handing out dishes. You see an ogre in the corner who has chains all basically on his wrists and his legs, kind of sweeping in the corner, having a very large brand of what looks to be a little broom kind of right underneath the eye. A Drake, Drakekin or Dragonkin comes over with these brilliant blue scales, very bright red cloth of a very pretty dress. As she walks over and kind of starts to puff her chest up and goes, "Welcome to the Frozen Bed Inn, the best inn in the Empire. How can I help you?" "Oh, Essa, good to see you again." As she looks around, Essa, you recognize this as Telu Asi.
Okay. Good to be back. I finally got that group I was looking for.
She kind of smiles and goes, "Oh, I didn't expect you to choose a dwarven companion. Not many of them lot adventuring in these parts this time of year." As she looks,
Well, I prefer to travel,
ah,
but greetings.
she holds out her hand and then as she looks at her hand, seeing something on it, she kind of wipes it on her dress and then holds it out again.
I'll shake it heartily, actually.
She shakes your
So
hand.
that's normal. Yeah.
She looks at you and goes, "And what's your name, good sir?"
You can call me James.
She nods and she goes, "Okay. Are you looking for a room or are you looking for work?"
Both for now. Although my other companion that travels with me is out getting the mule set up in the stable.
Okay. No worries, no worries. She goes, well, if you're looking for a room, I run about a silver piece a night. If you want a meal, it's covered if you pay a gold piece a night. All 3 meals are paid for. Order whatever you want. You can drink as much as you like. Rule of thumb, though, we don't take Drakekin on that deal. We learned our lesson previously on that. She as one you hear one of the patrons throw up his glass and cheer at the comment.
I imagine there's Essa like Snickers having seen earlier this week.
Yeah, you recall the inn getting half burned down by a Drakekin who managed to down almost 4 barrels of what was a nobleman's whiskey that was supposed to be set aside specifically for him.
I'll
Go ahead.
talk it over with my other traveling companion and see about getting maybe the meal set up then, for as long as we're in town.
She nods and she goes, "All right. Well, have a seat anywhere you like. Outdoors, of course, is welcome to sit as well. But if you want my attention, please come into order at the bar." She points over and you see a kind of a younger-looking version of Teluasi, kind of smaller-looking dragonkin, who looks still very vibrant, still wearing a very vibrant red dress, who seems to be taking orders and drinks as she runs about. And Teluasi looks over at Essa and goes, "You know,
Happily.
Hago's been looking for you. Just a note." As she kind of,
I mean, I was just outside the guild earlier today. He didn't say anything to me.
Well, I'll have to see what's going. He's up in a chuff about something, and one of his friends down in Himp Purser's last hold has been requesting some help. I know he's got a job he's been trying to find someone to do, and he's paying fabulously, but no one wants to take the trip because it's too far.
I mean, I can go talk to him probably tomorrow morning.
I recommend it. He said that he's looking for anyone, so if y'all are looking to travel for a decent distance, I mean, you might be able to get a nice upfront payment for this. She kind of winks at Essa as she walks away. As she kind of turns, she says one last comment over her shoulder and goes, "Just find a seat wherever you want, loves. I'll take care of you when once I got these orders taken care of." As another patron kind of shouts for her attention.
All right, it's grocery running time.
Grocery running time.
I'll be back shortly.
No worries. James, as you kind of see her kind of cut you off and not really catch your answer as you're about to answer to her, as she kind of turns to say that to Essa. At the same time, you kind of hear the door behind open up as a bell rings, and you see as Rollman kind of ducks slightly in to come in.
Oh, all right.
I'll wave him over.
I'll
Oh, we can get a
saunter
place to go. We can get a place to sleep and meals here for a night for gold. For what's the equivalent of gold?
Gold would be basically a ruby volcano. You
Oh,
can use
ruby
GP.
volcano.
Like, you can fully use GP when talking. Yeah, I'm only using that for the book. Like, that's just for my own records.
Mhm.
Oh, thank God for a GP.
You're good, Cameron.
A gold piece. I say a bit loudly.
A couple of the patrons kind of look over at you, and eye you with a slight stink eye.
That's
Essa
three
kinda,
meals. That's 3 meals and the night. So that's more than fair given the current prices of things.
All right, we can't stay more than like a couple nights though. Like, be bad on our change here.
Well, that depends on if we also find work.
That's true. I hope we find some work quick then.
As you
We'll
mentioned,
see what we can find.
work. Essa kind of turns to you for a moment since Cheston's not here. I'm just gonna help him here on this. And Essa kind of mentions that the Adventuring Guild, 4chans, is always looking for new jobs and looking to offer up new adventures and opportunities for people coming through. And kind of points it out as a good place to start.
I mean, we can see maybe tomorrow what they got. See if you can, when we're
I
out there,
can
you
cover
find
tonight.
some resources or anything.
I can cover tonight for us.
Okay. Oh yeah, and the stable hand told me, don't go out at night. And I'll keep my voice a little low in case I don't know.
Yeah.
And apparently the slavers wander the streets, and if anyone's not a dragonkin, or you said kobold as well, or kobold's also picked up.
Yeah, if anybody that wasn't Dragonkin was the comment.
Okay, anyone not dragonkin is gonna get picked up
Well,
as a
good
slave.
thing we don't normally wander around at night unless we have to.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be careful.
All right.
If we're getting 3 meals, I'm gonna eat my fill.
Apparently, you can drink as much as you want too.
Really?
As you turn, you see a table kind of clear up as one of the busboy or one of the little kobolds that looks very similar to the one you saw down in the stables. Kind of walks over, clears a bunch of grabs his hand, just wipes it over the table into a bucket, and then wipes it down real quick and walks off.
I'll get us a seat over there and wave Elsa. I can't pronounce it.
Teluasi. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Teluasi.
If
Thank
you
you.
want to use it for your notes.
I'll wave down Teluasi then.
As you do, she kind of looks over at you and kind of smiles as she finishes up with one of her customers and kind of turns back over and kind of runs over and goes, "Yes, James, right?"
Correct. I'll pay for a night for me and my larger companion here.
One room or two?
How many beds are there in a room? One
I-
one bed?
I can put as many. If you want one bedroom, I can put the beds in there, no extra cost. We are fully willing to work with our clients.
Well, that'd
One
be
room, 2 beds should be
nice.
good.
She nods and she goes, "And your friend S already has a room paid up for the night, so okay." And she goes, "Anything to eat?" And as she kind of takes your gold piece.
What's your biggest meal you got?
Well, let's see. That's a good question. Around these parts, we personally provide. I offer to provide Embermane steaks. They're a little bit spicy. We do have some rock heap chops. Although they're a little bit crunchy. We do have a lot of Landerkin. That's been a very common one. We cook it up similar to what the dwarves do in their homeland called a burger. It's basically a cheap piece of the meat that you kind of grind up, put it together, and then cook and serve it.
Oh yeah, James, you showed me that one before. That was good.
No, they're usually good.
We've also got a special delicacy that people really seem to like around here, especially the nobles, called tuertas fruit. It is a specific species of turtle that grows it is like very plant-like that grows a very delicious fruit on top. It makes a very fine dessert, and if you put a little alcohol on it and warm it, the insides of the tuertas are noted to be a very sweet meat.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
She nods.
I'll
She
take
goes,
I'll take the burger.
all right, one burger and a special coming up, and she just kind of smiles
Mhm.
at Essa for a moment.
And the biggest glass you have of ale. Then I give her a big smile.
Spiced ale? Or
Sure.
She nods and she goes, okay. She kind of writes it all down and turns and heads back towards the bar, and you see her kind of head off into the kitchen. Roll a couple. Why don't you both, or all three, you can roll me listen checks to see if you pick up anything from the bar chatter.
All right.
All right.
While you wait for your food.
That's a nat 20 for a 25.
Bam.
Okay.
He's listening.
I have ears. We say cheers. This is what I have for having a
God damn
fucking
it.
mass bonus.
Hmm.
Hey, Justin, I got you.
Who's listen? Yeah. So that's.
I'm just rolling on the site right
There you
now.
go, buddy.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Alright, so we got a 19, a 25, and a 9. Okay. So starting with Rollman, Rollman, you catch a couple comments about how the local spiced ale seems to be spicier than like alcoholic as of recent. Just as one of the patrons seems to complain, as you notice his 7th cup that he is currently downing. It looks to be kind of swaying from back to side in his chair as he's talking to one of his compatriots. The compatriot who seems to have his face in a beer mug, completely almost looking like he's out cold as bubbles blow out of the beer.
I imagine now a kobold with a snoot stuck in a beer.
Yeah, basically basically a very large kobold with his nose stuck into a very wide ale glass. For Essa, as you start to listen in, Essa, you hear mention that there is talk amongst a couple of the mercenaries and adventurers about there being an upcoming war, potentially between in the Storm Giant lands, something about civil war between the current leader and his son, and that there's a lot of work being picked up for it, scouting missions, stuff like that. As you kind of start to listen a little closer, you hear that there is a pickup for mercenaries, and they're paying about 100 gold pieces for equivalent ruby volcanoes for the world's lore per day for service, and the pickup is apparently in the city of Blood's End.
So I'm assuming Essa obviously pick up. That's probably really dangerous work at those price points that per day.
That would be a safe assumption. You know that base gear for an adventurer, I mean, given you've been kind of traveling for a bit, is pretty cheap comparatively to that price tag, and that's got to be some good work if they're paying that much. Plus, if you want, you can give me a history check to see what you know about storm giants.
Let's see what my history equivalent is.
I was gonna say, wait. Oh, is it? Oh, it's not. It would
It's
be.
knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. It's not history anymore. It's gonna be knowledge. So I'll give you knowledge, nobility, royalty, or.
No matter what it is, it's a +3. I have no points in knowledge.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
All my points are in like.
There is knowledge history.
Yeah, there is. There is a specific, but if he doesn't have it specifically, then yeah, it's just gonna be a general roll.
It's just a +3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
So firstly, you pick up. That's weird. Storm giants and dragons don't get along. Why would they be staying in what is known as a dragon lord's territory to pick up mercenaries? Secondly, mercenary work in Storm Giant Land doesn't make sense since it's a warring society where most of their people are soldiers. Why would they need to hire more troops outside? Thirdly, why would they be looking to hire people of dragon origin? That dragons are
Man.
mostly enslaved. This sounds like it's some BS that someone's tricking people. As you kind of catch in on this, something just sounds fishy about that. But although the price tag for 100, as you kind of put it together and calculate, that's actually pretty average of what you'd expect a soldier to make if they're going into a majorly bloody conflict. Because they're putting their life on the line. They don't get paid if they don't actually survive. Yada yada. So you feel that's pretty average for what you'd expect for a soldier's pay, but you also realize that soldiering is not good money. Like, the return on your investment isn't worth it in the end.
My pickup to cut is, it's probably BS, whatever it is, because it's weird. The pay is not great, like, comparatively, and I'm going to risk my life. I'm good.
James, you pick up something as you hear all this. You also pick up one of the adventurers commenting. You see a little like tag on his around his neck that seems to have some sort of metal on it. And you hear him talking to another very well dressed and very put together gear adventurer, another kobold of some sort talking. And both of them talking about the fact that old Kaz Aussie seems to only have all of his good shit all of his good stuff in the back, and that you have to ask specifically, otherwise he won't sell you any of his magical equipment or any of his magic gear.
Good to know in the future.
Yeah, as you kind of
Can I get the spelling of that name?
Yes, I can put that in the chat for you.
I'm gonna write some shit down.
So they're saying I have to ask old Kazasi for his special stock, basically.
That's what.
But it's also magic. We're not affording it as we are now, but good to keep in mind for later. Absolutely.
As you guys kind
Well,
of
no, if he's selling it, he may also buy it.
It's also true.
Yeah.
James, you know what? Actually, do you have, with your merchant skill, do you have a knowledge? Did you put anything in knowledge merchant by chance? I assume not, but
I did not. I have profession mercantile though.
I have profession mercantile as well.
Yeah. Also, I'll tell you what. Give me a profession mercantile roll for that then. Just to see how common it is to know of you people who buy magic
15.
items. You kind of think about it, right? You know what, Roman? Do you want to help out on this? As James brings this up.
Sure.
Okay.
Do I have to roll as well then?
Yeah, you also roll something. See if
Right.
either of you roll higher.
Can I roll a good number this time? Okay.
I am wise.
5.
Damn. Are you kidding me? That's a 1.
Roman, you know, the mercantile stuff never was your focus. You're here. You did a job. That's what you're here for. James taught you what he could, but a lot of it's boring talk. Like, it wasn't interesting a lot of times as you went on.
This many coins equals this. You got that much.
I got that.
You understand how the basics work. You just don't care about a lot of the details, like remembering a lot of this stuff. Like, you would be able to haggle. But James, did you think for a minute as you're kind of talking with Essa and Roman? You kind of think, as you look back and you're like, well, there's not many people who buy and sell magic items. In fact, in your travels, you've not run into, as of yet, a blacksmith on the public market, meaning like an actual merchant who will sell stuff, not just to nobles, that is willing to craft or sell anything of magical level. As that is commonly something that people use to make a lot of money and work for the nobles instead.
That's good to note. And I'm going to quietly as possible look at Essa and ask, "What do you know about old man? Since you've been here longer than me, old man. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Kasai.
No, it's Kaz Aussie. It's a hard
Kaz
N.
Aussie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
Is that the guy that runs the Humming Anvil DM?
Correct.
So I probably met him at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what you know, he's not old. He's
Yep.
actually quite young, and he is really irritable, and doesn't like to work with most people, which is why most people don't buy from his shop. But he's also the only blacksmith in town now, as he's, from what you've seen, ran everyone else out of business.
Man.
Okay. First of all, he's not old. Very important. Do not call him old. He's already irritable enough.
Okay.
He has to have some level of skill or really good business acumen because he ran every blacksmith that was here out of town, out of business.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like working with people, so not a lot of people go to his shop but don't really have a choice anymore. You know, his store is called the Humming Anvil. We passed by it on the way here.
Might be interesting to stop by there then. But I'll have to
I'd
work
be
on something
careful.
tonight to see about it.
Maybe he ran out all his competition by threats, and that's probably not
It's a
good for us to
possibility,
get
but he may
his
also be looking
attention.
for someone to fetch materials for him.
I don't imagine he lasted here long if he was threatening unless he was really strong.
Honestly, as you think on it for a moment, you know Kazasi is a black-scaled kobold, which is traditionally, from what you know from the ones you've seen around here, typically the more aggressive. Them and red-scaled kobolds are typically the most aggressive that you've met, just because they're dragon heritage. Surprisingly, he's well known for his cunning, and he's even more respected than the smith that Movasi uses for his personal like materials and such.
I imagine I'm weird being a more laid back black scaled.
Well, you're also not like a chromatic dragon. Well, I mean, of course, James and Rollman wouldn't be able to know this, so to kind of know. But you being your dragon typing is very unique for, especially even in this type of part of the world.
Oh no, it's a very rare dragon. It's not
Yeah. But most people would assume you to be a chromatic based on have the parentage of a black chromatic dragon, and yeah, so most people would assume that you're pretty laid back.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But as you continue chatting and thinking about what you guys want to do the next day, or even with the rest of the day, as it's still only about mid afternoon at this point, you overcomes Teluasi as she sets down a large pitcher of the darkest and thickest ale you've ever seen. No foam on the top, surprisingly, as it's filled exactly to the top with nothing but ale. As she sets down a very nicely designed like turtle with its fruit completely opened up, the meat being kind of cut out, and you can see where it's set up to just pick at and pull off as you wish. James, as you look down at the plate, she brings out a very large hamburger steak. Looks to be about a 24-ounce steak with a full setup of gravy on the side, a full new potato, and Essa, as Telasi kind of brings over and sets down a pretty much. I'd assume what would you assumedly order as your like normal dish? You feel? Any
I don't know
you think?
exactly. Probably something a little gamier, being like she's more used to hunting food more than
There was the rock chops.
Yeah, as I say, as you see, as a set of like the rock heap chops kind of set down in front, and they look a little bit crunchy on the outside with their marbling, but as it kind of cracks them apart, you see as they very easily break apart and without any issue, each individually being filled with some sort of sauce that seems to, as it cracks open, flow onto the plate. As you sit down and start to enjoy yourselves eating and drinking, the tavern or the inn kind of gets a little bit boisterous, but slowly starts to kind of wane down as the afternoon continues on. People starting to head out and to do the rest of their job.
Real quick about Paysplit, I'm gonna suggest this. Since my entire goal is to eventually create my own guild, beyond what we're doing right now as a smaller merchant company, where I'm able to train people in crafts and make money and learn more. An even three-way split.
James, I agree.
Yes.
We shouldn't just skimp out and give our new companion here nothing, but I think an even split off the bat might not be the correct move.
work me on commission.
Commission per job.
Pay me based on what I do. If I do better,
Okay,
pay me more. If I don't do anything, pay me less.
I can work with that.
Seems only fair, right?
That's more than fair.
All right.
As James pulls out some leather parchment and starts writing down the contract, you start to read through it. It's pretty much a very simple contract, just basically stating that you'll be paid on your capabilities until a point comes that they decide to bring you on as either a partner onto the business or you decide to go separate ways.
Fine by me. Essa's not here for the money.
That's fair. As you all kind of as James, you see the signature as SF signs it immediately. You kind of pull it up, put it in your back into your map or into your contract container, where you also have Rollerman sitting in there and just kind of cover it back up. The tavern now seems to kind of quiet down almost to a dead silent as the lunch rush seems to be over, and only you lot seem to be staying in here, other than a couple of like local drunks that you can see in the corners, drinking themselves into a stupor.
How good was the
Good.
ale?
This gives me a chance to see something
Roll
as
a con
well.
save, Rollman.
All right.
Or
Let's
sorry,
find
This
out.
gives me a chance
fortitude
to see
save.
something.
Fortitude save.
Fortitude.
save.
All right.
Okay, hold on. I need to see real quick.
This
It'll
does
take
give
a
me
few
a chance
seconds for us to
to
get the
look
word.
at something.
It's gonna. I
How
mean, it's
well
not
does
as
the
bad.
silverware here look for
Give me,
durability wise? Like, has it been starting to break down or anything?
give me an appraise check.
Okay, so I just have a.
Fuck yeah!
Or if you
that is
have
an 18.
metalworking, I will also take 18.
I have metalworking, yeah, but I also have
It,
you check-
uh
Yeah.
appraise.
yeah, it is sterling silver from what you can tell. This is brightly designed. Goddamn, Rollman.
I can't roll above like a 3.
Rollman.
Bro, if you want to use D&B Beyond and show me what you're rolling, I don't
Nah,
mind.
bro.
Okay,
I'll just continue.
if you're willing to, I don't mind. Because
This is a matter of
if you get into combat and you get fucked, man, I don't want to feel bad. You got screwed. Okay, as you but yeah, so as you start to kind of drink it down, Rollman, it's strong. It's thicker than what you remember, and since maybe it's been a while since you've had good ale since you've been on the road for so long, it hits your stomach faster than the food does, and you start to feel yourself get slightly queasy. You start to feel the drunk hit you faster in an unpleasant way.
I'll flag down our great patron here, whose name I will never be able to fucking pronounce. So I'm gonna stop trying for the moment and get Telasi and get him a water.
to drink. Help a little bit.
She comes back
Yeah.
over and kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh, not a problem. It's very common for many of our new patrons not to survive. To be fair, that is Hago's personal brew that he sells us, so it might be a little bit on the stronger side. You did say you wanted a good glass, so I figured.
I did say that.
Not only that, it's he's been off. He hasn't had much good alcohol to drink in a while.
Oh,
Been on the road.
She looks at him. She starts to dig into her dress pocket and pulls out a little like white pill and kind of hands it to you and goes, "Eat this." And she pours a glass of water.
What is this?
It'll make your stomach fizz, and then it'll make you burp. You won't have a stomach ache anymore.
Taking a fucking sense motive on that.
Go ahead and alright, roll for it.
I'm not. Can I look at the medicine and just be like, oh,
Before he even rolls, can I roll it too? Because I've seen his rolls so far.
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
I have a
I'd like
+2
I'd like to roll
usual,
profession alchemy to see if I can
plus
figure out
3.
what the hell that
Oh.
is.
Sure.
You
Go
rolled
for it.
something decent.
That's a 13.
No, that's my roll. That's a 13.
Plus
To
3.
figure out what the medicine he was handed is, if
Okay.
it's not what she said.
There we
it is.
go. It's above a
Okay.
10.
Roll them in. So first, as James kind of eyes it up, firstly, you look it up and down, and you see that the item, or it looks to be, have a minor bit of like herbs in it, as you can see little plants sticking out of it, and it looks like it's a white paste, not actually a pill. It's just very compacted, as if someone's kind of been like holding it in their dress for a while.
Crushed it down, yeah.
Yeah, like it's just been there. Roll them in. As you look up and down, what are you trying to sense here? Are you trying to see if she's trying to kill you? Or are you trying to sense if she's lying to you? What's the specific here?
If it's not what it say it was.
Okay.
Honestly.
As you kind of look, she's being 100% honest. Or at least you have no reason to look or to see or to fault her. She looks to be very kind and open with it. Essa, as you take a second, you were rolling what? Just to make clear.
Same thing as Grumpy.
Okay.
You trust us.
Yeah, as you look at her, she hasn't done you wrong at all. She's brought you food. She's been very sweet and very open to you. She has not caused any issues, and even her slaves are treated well here.
As far as Essa's aware, she's been here a week. Nothing. She hasn't seen anything bad happen.
Mm-hmm.
You should
I'll
be
go
fine.
ahead and pop the pill.
As you do, and as you drink the water, you start to feel the fizzing slightly in your mouth for a moment, and then as it goes down, it's kind of a weird, almost like peppermint-like flavor to it. A few moments go by, and you see Rollerman get really green for a minute, and then he belches out the largest belch, causing the building to slightly rumble a little bit, as suddenly the stomach ache seems to dissipate, Rollerman.
Oh, that was a good one.
She
Thank
smiles and
Thank you.
She looks at you and she goes, "Yes, it's I buy these quite often from the local apothecary. They're very useful for when you're out with poisonous herbs and such. However, I will warn, they don't always work, and some people have been known to violently throw up when taking them, so I wasn't 100% sure if your body would be able to handle it.
Mm.
It wouldn't have killed you. I did have something in case up, but it just would have been a horrid night.
Oh,
for you.
you weren't the only one who had something just in case, ma'am. But thank you very much.
Now she's gonna roll sense motive on that.
Oh god.
What
Is
does
that
that
true?
I'm not
mean?
lying.
What does that mean, buddy?
I have magic. That's what that fucking means.
She kind of looks you up and down. She goes, "Oh, you're a magic caster. You know, we don't get many of magic casters around these parts." She kind of, especially ones that are divine in nature. She looks at you, and goes, "What god do you serve? If you don't mind my asking."
Before they continue, I just laughed like you thought he was a caster. Nah, he just got his own herbs from the Snow Dwarf lands. Helps me a bit.
Roll
Sometimes
bluff.
eat something's not quite good for me.
Roll bluff.
Yeah.
Tessa has no idea what's going on.
No, as you're watching this conversation going back and forth.
I couldn't see a
Sweat.
less capable person to be a caster at all.
She got a net 20.
I was gonna say she got a
Bluff.
26 in total.
What's my bluff? I need to find it.
It's near the top.
I'm looking good here, boys. It's a +6.
You have a shot.
So if you nat 20,
Oh, this is gonna be fucking amazing.
Come on. No.
My man.
You know what? I will calmly
Wait,
just pull up my
Crumpy,
holy
when
symbol.
you're typing, I just want to make sure you're typing it right
Huh?
before, real quick.
It's
I'm-
slash
I'm-
roll 1d20 plus number.
You're typing that, right? Like in a
Yes.
sense,
Yes,
not the
that's what he
okay.
typed.
Because
That's what I
I
typed.
have to ask, because Maya, when we first started this, kept rolling, roll one, what was it? It was a D20.
Roll
and always
D20.
Gave, yeah, and it always gave an auto 1. So I wanted to make sure you are putting the 1 in front of it.
Yeah.
As you kind of mentioned this, she kind of smiles at you and kind of gives a wink to you, and she goes, "Oh, my apologies. I must have misunderstood. You know, adventures come in all the time. You never know what they do. Each of you are unique in their own individual way." She kind of smiles at that, obviously trying to play this off like you fully succeeded.
Do I see through the bullshit that
Oh,
she's
she's
feeding
not
him?
hiding that she's bullshitting. She's doing this as an exaggerated
The
statement to make you feel
sarcasm.
better.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slowly pull up my handcard wooden holy symbol of an anvil with the symbol on it that I talked to you about before. I don't worship a specific god per se. I worship the force of magic.
Oh, she looks at you and goes, "That's unique around these parts. Not many clerics around these times."
I look at her and I say, I told you.
Yeah,
That's
she
so-
kind of nods.
I want you to know, Essa thinks she's been called out and covered for because she's a ranger that cannot use and will never be able to use divine magic. She thinks she's being called out, and then like the bartenders try to cover for me, like to make me not feel. They're like, "Man, this sucks."
Man.
She continues. She goes, "Well, if you need anything, James or Rollerman and Essa, I'm always around. If you are looking for jobs, I am actually looking to hire some people if you're interested.
What you looking to hire for?
It's a high-paying job, but I want to make it clear it's high-paying just because of the level of movement." And you'll understand as she kind of starts to dig around in her bag from behind. As she pulls from what you see is a small, like what looks to be somewhat similar to a bag of holding that you've only seen a few noblemen carry around. And this is tiny, like not massive at all.
It's coin
like,
purse size.
basically, yeah, a very small coin purse. As she pulls out a piece of paper and she kind of puts it on, and you see a wanted poster of a pair of Landerkins. Which are...
Do I recognize the animal?
You know... Well... I would say you know what a Landerkin is, because you've traveled enough, you'd have to see them. They're pretty... I mean, you've traveled through enough of their territory.
Okay.
I'd say each of you know roughly what these creatures are for the audience. Let me just pull that up real quick, because I will...
I imagine me being more local, a little more so, and living in more of these territories.
Landerkin are found on every continent. They're one of the few...
Yeah.
I might have run into them a lot. I'm gonna go see if
Consider
they're on my
Consider
continent.
what nation I'm from.
Oh, yeah, no, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just pull up the description though.
I imagine I've dealt with them more intimately than most.
They're
Are these are monstrous or are these domesticated on the
So
map?
Landerkins are a domesticated beast of burden. So they are a fat-looking drake that is commonly gray, black, or brown, or color mix of these three. They are large creatures that are used as beasts of burden. They're commonly bred with dragon turtles and other such large monsters to increase its size and sturdiness. They're known to haul haul the same amount of as a group of 4 oxen. Apologies, I'm reading from my own Excel document, which is horrible grammar. Though it should be noted that they grow older, the older they grow, their horns start to take on bizarre shapes and will need to be cut off every few years. They're known to go for about 5,000 GP for a male and about 10,000 GP for a female.
Yep.
As she kind of points to the price tag at the very bottom, she goes, I'm willing to offer," and she kind of thinks about it for a second and goes, well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm open for it because there's not many people who want to take a job like this because Landerkin they're not dangerous. It's just they're big and they're not easy to get to the city. As she kind of continues going on, I haven't found any adventurers who want the job. So if you're interested, I'm willing to offer market price for a breeding pair plus an extra 1,000 on top of.
They usually. I'm looking at the maps right now, trying to
I
figure out.
was saying, off the top of Vesta's head, would you know how far you have to go to get to? And then bring
There
them
is a
back?
pretty one that's pretty close to here. It's not that far away, about north.
Yeah, for reference, here, I'm just gonna.
They nest around the lake by the looks of it.
If there's the domesticated map for those who aren't there, and you can see they're just slightly north of the territory you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Also south, so there's options.
Yeah, there's some north and some south.
As James
East or
kind of
west?
pulls
South
out his
looks like
map.
it's closer.
Yeah. She continues on and goes, "Now, I will mention, if you're willing to bring me instead a pair of eggs, and you can guarantee that it's a female and a male, I'll tell you what, I'm willing to pay 11,000 gold pieces for each egg."
Do the eggs look different between male and female? Out of game?
Roll me a that's actually let's say I'll do a survival check for that because I feel like that's gonna be something I know about, like animals and going out and about.
Okay, that's a +6.
I'll give
That's
it,
not
yeah.
bad.
You know what? I'll roll for this as well.
Yeah, if you want to, that's fine.
That's 15 plus 5, 20.
Okay.
21. Oh, plus
18.
5. You said. I heard the plus 6. That was.
Well, you've got whatever your bonus is.
That's I don't have a bonus survival. That's just straight
Yeah.
wisdom.
20. Okay. Oh yeah,
Just a
'cause
lot
it's
of
wisdom
wisdom.
stat. I forgot. Yeah, that's why the fucking half the party's good at, because half of you are wisdom characters. All right.
I am the
I
wise.
think
Yeah,
it's
sadly,
Stroke
max
the
rank is
beard.
only a +2 to wisdom.
Oh, is it really? Okay. But yeah, as you both start to think for a moment, you're kind of looking back on, and you remember females are known to be larger than males, even though males are more predominantly used as beasts of burden just because of their muscularity, and they're a lot cheaper to feed. So it goes to thought process as you start to think on it for a moment that the eggs would be of different sizes. Essa, James, as you think for a little bit, for a moment more, you remember there's not only are they slightly different in size, but you remember there's a distinct pattern that females always have dots on their eggs, males do not. And it's the only way to identify the difference between the two, other than the height difference, which most people can't get that close for.
We might be able to do that.
I'm gonna take you up. We'll have to discuss and see what other options are.
Honestly, depending on the nest we find, the eggs, we might be able to manage.
He goes, if you bring them back, and I'm still set up. I'm always looking for them. I need some.
What's the reason no one's taken this already?
Well, it pays extremely well. That's the problem. Most adventurers hear that kind of pay tag and they assume it's dangerous. And while it is dangerous, because you gotta go through Wyvern and Embermane territory, you gotta also understand that you gotta bring them back. That's the issue. You can sneak through Embermane territory.
Couldn't we just go around? Couldn't we just go around the wyverns? And not...
Yep.
It's not very
bypass
big.
the wyverns entirely.
Embermanes aren't that dangerous, are they? Because they're
Not only that, we could just ignore them entirely and go for the ones south and pass through Drac territory. And only
What
have
are
to pass
Drac
through Drac
being?
territory.
Yeah, what are dragons?
Drac. You can roll for it to find out.
All right, what kind of roll am I doing?
Survival.
I know survival.
I would say
This-
survival, or if you have some sort of knowledge, nature would be pretty much the options.
I rolled survival for a 14.
I think my nature is actually
I'll roll
lower than
this.
my survival. Yeah, I have no points in nature, but I just have a decent intelligence. All right, I'll just do it to 6 then. Sure.
I've got a +1. Let me go see.
Let's see if the man, the myth, the legend who's rolling low.
No, nope.
Yes.
Damn, Essa
Never
failed.
dealt with Drax. Never
Nope.
dealt with Drax before.
That's
Man.
Essa.
Wow. Neither
Neither have I.
13. Wait, no. Mine was 14. Yeah, 14.
Okay.
9 plus 5, brain.
Oh, are you rolling on D&D Beyond right now?
No, I'm rolling on the site itself.
Okay.
So it doesn't stay up for very long, so I can't.
Yeah, let's say if it comes to it, yeah, no worries. Yeah. So, with a 14, Dracs are actually very more common than Landerkin. In fact, all of you have actually seen one, even with the terrible rolls.
Yeah.
They are, if you remember the single-headed looking creature with legs, like a dragon's head with legs that I posted a while back, that's basically the simple description. But the exact description is they are a fatter drake, but smaller than a Landerkin. They're about the same size of a large dog. The Drac is a very common beast of burden. They give a large amount of milk that is edible for most races, and produce large amounts of fatty meat when killed. They go for about 2,500 GP for a male and about 5k for a female.
I've heard they're Lenderkin to the south through Drac habitat, so it might be easier to go that way.
She kind of
Might take a little longer.
she nods, and as you mention this, kind of smiling, looking as almost a slight hope glimmering in her eyes.
I think it'd be easier to take this job and just go south.
I see no reason not to give it a try. I could always stop into fucking pull up his name.
Hago.
The old Hoggo to see what he wants before we go.
We could set out first thing in the morning.
She looks at you and goes, "If you're going to set out in the morning, then allow me to recommend that you go shopping around the area if you have some gold and any last-minute supplies. Landerkin and Drax are well known for being willing to eat anything, and they fall asleep really easily." And she kind of smiles and winks at you at that, and as she turns and walks away.
I'll sleep
Alright.
easily, huh?
What
We should
time
go
is
check
it?
out the herbalist.
It's about mid-afternoon. You guess like 2 to 3 p.m. roughly in the day. Sun's out still. It's still a chill day because it's still spring. No clouds in the sky as it's still pretty clear out.
Yeah, let's see what we can get for some supplies, and tomorrow
we
we'll
need
head
to
out.
stop at the herbalist. I have an idea.
All right.
As you all kind of stand up, heading out, you kind of go towards the door. The bell rings, and Telossi kind of waves you all away, smiling, and mentions that she'll keep your keys ready for when you get back.
I'll give her a nod and a smile as we head out to prepare for both of these creatures.
All right. As you head down the two flights or the two sets of stairs, you see the kobold from earlier, Rollerman, kind of still sitting there, very much petting BK, feeding him a fresh apple as the others are being taken care of. You can definitely tell BK is getting a lot of good treatment here as you look about.
I'm gonna notice this as well. I'm gonna whisper, "I gotta tip that guy. He's treating the mule. He's treating BK
Don't worry.
really well."
I already tipped him.
He's already been tipped.
Oh damn! Good job, Rollman. You remembered.
As you kind of head out back onto the main dirt road, you start to see a lot more Drakekin, other kobolds like walking out. The city seems to be a bit more alive as now shops are starting to really open up. You're starting to see people kind of going out and about, more adventures, more nights. You do start to see a lot more Dragonkin that look similar to Essa, that as they kind of pass as you get towards the main road, they all seem to give kind of a slight, like a nasty eye towards Essa. Many of them looking to be very well off as their armor or clothes are very glamorous and very vibrant in color.
Do we notice this disdain?
Yeah, James Rollman, give me a spot check to see if you notice this. This is something that catches your eye.
Wisdom. Let's go.
Dude.
Man,
That's a 20.
why can't spot be a strength thing? I think I'm a plus to racial bonus to this.
I
You're gonna
flex my
flex your
muscles to
eyeballs.
see.
Yeah.
I
have a
flex
plus
my
two.
eyes to see as hard as I can.
God damn.
Come
My words have the
on, big
force
money.
to blow away winds.
Big money.
Nice!
20.
Finally.
Nice.
19 plus
21.
2. Nice.
Yeah, so as you start to run into this whole, or as you start to notice this, you look about and both of you kind of catch the notice that Essa keeps getting like side-eye glares from both Dragonkin and Drakekin, who are well off. All of them seeming to almost go out of their way to glare, although Essa doesn't seem to pay much attention to it as you look over.
Life.
So it seems the
You're
other
not well
drag.
received.
Yes.
I'm the highest birth of kobolds, and I'm not well off. I make them look bad.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
Sorry, I
supposed
don't
to be
know.
above the
You know.
upper echelons for birth, but since I'm willing to get my hands dirty, I'm not rich. I'm not well received by most.
Are they born
If
into
you-
that?
Usually, yeah.
Is there
Technically,
anything
I
you
was
want
too.
before we leave, Essa?
Hmm?
Is there anything you want before we leave?
I might need to pick up a few more arrows, but I can do that at the tavern.
Pick up the material. If you want a different bow, pick up the materials for it, and I'll gladly make it.
I mean, damn, do I know how much it costs for materials for a quality longbow? Because I don't. I'm not exactly a crafter.
If you wanted quality, well, do you have a profession for like hunter or anything like that?
No, my one thing is poison making.
Okay.
I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'll help you pick out the materials. If
I
need
say
be.
give me a wisdom check. Just in general, like just to roll a d20 plus your wisdom modifier. For this. Because I feel like this would be an experience, not necessarily I've read a book kind of situation.
Yeah, I believe my one. All right. With only a +2, it's not bad.
You know, I mean, as you from basics that bows need string, they need wood. The better quality wood and the better quality string, the better the bow in general. You know that as far as the highest quality bows that you've seen on the market, they're all great wood, because those make great for magical bows. But you also know great wood costs an arm and a leg, and you could just as easily go cut a tree down and get the materials that way.
Yeah, but consider I want to make like an average quality longbow. What kind of wood? How much would it cost me roughly?
Let me pull up my commentary thing real quick. Because that would be basically the same equivalent of a common tree price, which I'd say about the same value of as a plank, which would be about 1 gold piece. That's assuming he succeeds on the first try and that's just for the bow, the wood part. For the rope, or for the rope prices and string, you don't know. You haven't seen anyone around here that does spinster work or works with wool.
I mean, no one here makes stuff for quality bowstrings. I could get the wood, but
Well, then we'll try while we're out. We can possibly shear BK there and make some quality string out of it.
In the
It is the spring
Alright.
season.
In the distance, a neighing can be heard as he he can feel his due is going to be cut.
Hey, he's probably really fucking
Light
hot down there.
trimming.
yeah, to be fair, this is a warmer area. He kind of needs to be shaved.
No, yeah, 100%. But yeah. As you
Also, a
start-
question. There's no problem like with me having my big ass sword on my back, right? No one's
No,
like.
you see guards
yelling at
walking up. You see guards walking around armed. You see nobles walking around armed. The only people who don't walk around armed are the commoners and merchants that you see, and that's because.
Can I make a
being
point? You have a
guarded.
big ass sword on your back. I have a club on one side, a morning star on the other, a gauntlet on, and a quarterstaff on my back.
Always the short guy with all the weapons. It's always
Yeah,
the
dude.
short guy.
Well, this bastard sword is taller than me. It's like 6 foot 8 inches long.
A couple people do stare as they walk by, but most of them don't seem to act much because you look so out of place as an and most people just assume you're an adventurer and leave you be. With the guild having a more prominent stay, from what you can tell in this city, compared to many of the towns you visited before, James and Rolliman. Essa, you wouldn't be as experienced with this as you've only really visited draconic or dragon towns where they're a lot wealthier typically. Whereas James and Rolliman have a bit more experience traveling through
The slums.
less cultured nations.
The poor.
Yeah, from my story, I've spent more time out in the wild and stuff than town work.
The guilds here seem to be more prominent than most towns, is what you gather. That's why you seem to kind of get the feeling, Roman, that he doesn't seem to be bothered that you're walking around. It's just you're not a threat. Is basically kind of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, they might be. We'll see what we can do for you, though. Let's stop at the herbalists, or do you want to head to your meeting first?
I'm gonna go
That's
talk to Hago. I may as well get it over with now.
You want us to tag along?
No, I got it. It's fine.
All right, we're gonna stop at the herbalist and possibly pick up something to assist us in getting past some of these defenses.
Yep,
I guess
I'll
one of those pills.
go to Hago, then I'll buy some wood, and I'll meet you guys back at the tavern.
All right.
Okay. As you parties split up, we'll go with James and Rollman first. As you see Essa kind of wave and head down the street towards where you met them earlier, you turn and see one of the other side roads where the very large potion like billboards is hanging with what looks to be a almost similar to Essa with the black scales and height, but no, their arms, as you kind of see them coming out front, setting down a sign, like a little billboard with different notes of potions and stuff written in chalk, and different daily prices. You notice they have very tiny, like T-Rex like arms that only look to have like two fingers on each hand, or on each hand, and seem to kind of like be fully cloaked over. Wearing a very dark, like black cloak that seems to cover most of their features as you head over. As you come upon the apothecary, the immediate smell of mint is strong, emanating as the doors open and you look at it.
Calming. Reminds me of Mother's parlor.
Strong. You mean?
As you kind of mentioned this, the shop owner kind of shocked turns and jumps like almost like 5 feet in the air as you see its cloak kind of opens up and two giant wings spread out as it kind of tries to flap up in the air, scared to no other as it freaks out and goes, "Oh, Ego, do not do nothing. Ego, do not do nothing."
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Sorry to scare you there.
Oh. And he kind of like closes his wings back in and closes his robes back up, and you see this really gnarled looking face, scarred to all hell, weird strange fangs that kind of come out a bit more than what you see on dragons, and that seem to leak a little bit of liquid as you kind of get closer towards it, and the smell from the breath of this creature is horrendous, of nothing but rotting meat.
Can I tell what that scar is from?
Looking up and down, Do you have martial lore by chance as one of your
martial what?
Martial lore as one of your skill checks?
No.
I didn't think so. Let's say, I mean,
Could do like a profession mercenary.
do you
I've probably
have
seen a
do
lot
you
of
have
wounds and
mercenary
stuff.
for your profession?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I do allow that.
All right.
Let's see what you got.
Oh, forgot the slash. Slash roll. Plus 4.
13.
All right.
As you look at him, you notice that the scar, like as you start to look about his face, you see multiple scars that seem to have been connected up, and it looks like someone got into him with a dagger. By roughly the shape of it and the like depth of the cuts, you can't tell the freshness, but if you're looking at them, you'd guess that these are pretty new, as they're not darkened like most scars are, based on the skin.
I'll just frown a little bit.
He kind of looks at both of you, and as you look over the windows, the windows are tinted off in the shop. As you look in, you see plants kind of growing about, little bottles kind of hanging off trees and such, and he kind of looks at James and he goes, "Oh, Eagle, can help you." And he kind of nods and like kind of points towards the shop with his claw finger.
Yeah, we're hoping to purchase some things to assist in helping other things fall asleep.
Eagle can help. And he kind of just nods.
If I need to, I'll try speaking Draconic to... Does that change how well they're speaking?
He starts. He kind of switches over from common to draconic, and you go ahead and roll an intelligence check as you try to understand. As his voice becomes more panicked and shrill.
He didn't
That's
like
an
that.
8.
Yeah, as you kind of listen, it becomes harder to understand him, almost as if he's speaking draconic too fast to pick up. Like he's too
Calm,
well
calm.
become.
I was trying to speak to you in a way that you would be able to understand a bit better, instead of making you have to worry about it.
He just kind of looks at you and then looks at Rolliman and then kind of eyes Rolliman's sword up and down and then eyes your weapons up and down.
Understandable.
Perfectly
Oh,
understandable.
introductions probably. My name is Rollman. This is James.
It's a
We
pleasure.
are part of the Ironheart
Mercantile.
merchant company.
He kind of suddenly nods and goes, "Ego, understand. You want special substances?" As he kind of like
Sleeping
mimics
herbs.
a joint.
We'd prefer something that would just assist with falling asleep, not
So that would
giving the
assist
munchies.
with falling asleep. What do you mean?
Well, that would also give something the munchies.
Kind of thinks for a second, goes.
That's not good for us right now.
He kind of like puts his hands up in the air, like trying to like show like, and he goes, size?
A drac and a. Let me make sure I'm reading the name off right, otherwise I'm gonna look stupid. A drac and a landrican. Landrican.
Oh. Oh, and he kind of starts nodding violently as he turns and runs into the back of the shop, and you start hearing glass clattering, the sounds of breaking things. A potion flies out into the doorway, and purple smoke comes off of it.
Can I try and catch that thing?
Sure, give me a
Before it breaks on the
reflex check.
ground. Potions are expensive nowadays.
You're not wrong.
So if something fucking breaks, we're gonna have problems. That's a 21.
There you go.
Merchandise!
All right, roll me a D100 real quick.
He has a spidey sense for breaking merchandise.
The merchandise is in danger.
While they're doing that, I'm looking around the store. Does this seem like a shady, like, a front of sorts? Since I saw those scars with the dagger, they might be into some deep shit.
As you kind of look about, all of his stuff looks legitimate. You recognize a lot of the potions and other options. You look at, and nothing in the shop shows anything of ransacking or anything like that.
That's a 51.
Cameron, sorry, James, as you pick that potion up, you realize it's a potion of Bear's Endurance, which is worth 300 GP, by the way.
I'm glad. I'm just gonna go set it back on the counter.
Yeah,
It blew out the door.
You kind of start to look about. Nothing catches your attention at first. Do you want to roll to specific? Are you looking for anything specific?
Like potentially like hidden compartments or maybe some sort of like symbol of an underground organization or something like that.
So I'll give this up to you. If you're looking for just a look around, that would be a spot check. If you want to actually start like opening some of the cupboards and looking through some of the stuff and like kind of getting down on the ground and checking things, that's gonna be a search check.
I'll just do a spot. I'm not
Okay.
going to invade the man's cupboards.
As you hear another glass bottle kind of shatter in the back room against a wall, and then you suddenly see the gray smoke kind of emanate out, and he goes, "Oh, not good." So he continues going through things.
I'm going to heal his face if this keeps up as payment. Jesus Christ.
I'll tell him
that's
that's caused from daggers, not from his clumsiness.
Oh, okay, well that's good to know. That potion that flew out here that landed and
God
nearly
damn it.
broke was
Uh,
that was Bear's Endurance, and that's about 300 gold.
Oh, well,
300
good catch.
ruby volcanoes. I'm glad I caught it.
as you two are having this conversation, James, you kind of notice Roman's kind of like looking about, kind of like not really moving, but kind of like moving his like from the space he's staying, but moving his head about, looking, trying to get better angles at different areas as he's looking. Roman, you do look about, and nothing really catches your attention other than the fact that the building itself, the walls are mostly white with a couple of stains from the plants and such. But you notice over where there's what looks to be like a very simple version of a cash register used for like keeping track of coins and stuff like that. You do notice behind there are burn marks on the wall that are definitely not normally like design. They don't seem to look like normal fire with the pattern they give, as they seem to be almost like a straight
I'm not
line.
really well aware of like breath weapons, am I?
Um, at this time and period, most people would be. They'd know dragons have breath weapons. They'd know that most kobolds have breath weapons. That's pretty common knowledge.
Well, that this could be. Do I think this could be
Oh.
caused by a breath weapon?
Give me. I would say. Honestly, I'd just say an
Intelligence?
intelligence check for that one.
Intelligence check?
I think that's just intelligence, yeah. To see if you
Okay.
can recognize that. Because you would have never seen someone breathing out
Yeah,
like that. It'd be more of
I
just like,
would.
have you read it about it or heard about it?
1d20 plus that. There we go.
You look at it looks very similar because of the arc it's at. It's probably someone who was, and at the angle, it's probably someone who's shorter than James or maybe James's height, and seems to be shooting up towards where roughly what you can see it would have been wherever the Igu was standing would have been roughly next to his head if he was standing behind that medieval styled register.
James, I assume he's still back there crashing stuff,
Yeah, you
right?
still hear him like digging through things.
Let's be the only time we visit this place. This place is he's into some deep shit.
That's probably fair, but feel bad for the man.
As he comes out finally holding a what looks to be a bottle of this strange looking material. He kind of looks about it, kind of sniffs it for a second, and he kind of hands it over to you as he corks the bottle back up and goes, 2 drops, Landerkin. 1 drop, Drac. Half drop, Big Man, as he points to Rolliman.
Well, Rollman, we
Keep
got a
that in
sleep
mind.
aid for you. How
Eh.
much?
He kind of looks at it and goes up and down, goes, Eagle, silver piece or offer or job?
I will pull out my silver piece, well, the equivalent to the silver piece in lore, and hand it to
It's
him.
an emerald, I believe. No,
Yeah. No, that would be
sapphire.
a
It's a sapphire. I'm remembering.
Wait till you have to do the colored coins. There's even
What?
more. Yeah, there's 2 forms of currency in this world, not just one.
It's the troll currency.
Yeah, the trolls have
Oh.
a specific currency they use because they don't have the
They-
metals that everyone else does.
I'll pay
Is it
you for your work, but I'll
Yeah.
still hear out your job. Depending on what it is, we might take it later.
He kind of smiles at that and he goes, I'm looking for a pound of cocoa beans. I'll offer about 200 gold, or 210 gold pieces for every pound you bring me. As
This feels
suddenly
like
his
an-
language becomes very normal.
This feels like an early game side quest.
I'll keep an
Well,
eye out then.
Yeah.
He nods and goes, sooner better. Eagle misses his milk.
Is he addicted?
Oh,
He misses his chalky milk.
He's addicted to coke.
Oh,
No, he misses his cocaine.
Yeah.
He goes,
Oh,
I offer, I also have a second job in town if interested.
depending
this
on
job?
what it is.
Well, he kind of looks over at the. You suddenly see him kind of look over at the burn mark behind his desk, and he goes, "Are you looking for? Are you adventurers?" As he suddenly his entire speaking suddenly cleans up perfectly in common.
We're more merchants, but yes. We adventure.
You kill people for pay?
I have done so in the past.
How much you kill a dragonkin for?
In this city.
Wait a minute.
No,
Your
thank you.
entire life savings.
I'm gonna leave.
He just turns
In Movasi City? Nah.
That's not quite worth it here, friend.
But I'll pay you 100 gold pieces per.
I wish you luck.
But I'm gonna wave him down and look at his face real quick. Can I make a heal check to try and make sure the wounds heal a bit nicer for him?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That is a 13.
As you do, you notice the wounds start to heal, and then they start to re-burn back to what they look like, and you see as Ego seems to like pull away from you in pain.
Oh, curse.
It's a curse, huh? I'm sorry about that, friend. I figured I'd make sure you at least didn't lose your beautiful face.
Curse?
Most likely, if it instantly did that when trying to work on it.
You see him just kind of like his eyes go wide, these black beady eyes, almost like a predator's eyes. As you look at him, and he goes, "That eagle was dragon. That explained."
He
And he
learned
kind of like
something.
goes wide, and he goes back into the back of the potion shop. And he goes, "I'm getting him back." He starts digging through things.
I'm gonna
We're
walk
not gonna
out
get in
now.
between
I'm not helping.
different
Wait,
businesses feuds here.
Is the potion of Bear's Endurance still on the counter?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna look at him. I'm tempted to be a terrible person, but I'm a
Be
good
like-
person. I'm gonna shout at him and be like, "By the way, the potion that flew out of your back room is sitting out here on your counter." And
You see him
I'll leave.
As you leave, you see him kind of look at it and kind of grabs it and kind of look. You see him kind of walk back in the room as he stares at it in his hand for a moment, kind of looking at you confused as he walks away.
Might help you get revenge or whatever. I don't know.
But as with you two outside of the building, or outside of the shop,
I'm glad I didn't rob him. He's a little crazy, I think.
Oh
you
yes,
do
I told
suddenly
you.
hear
He's in some shit.
You hear a slight explosion and the shop kind of rumbles.
Let's go.
Let us not go back there.
No, but how big is the bottle I got?
So as you look at, it's about about 750 milliliters of what looks to be, or as you look at, you're not sure what the material is, but as you kind of I assume you're gonna uncork it and smell it. But yeah.
I'll uncork it and take a tentative whiff.
All right, give me a.
I'm ready to catch him if he
I was
falls.
say, give me a quick fortitude save for me.
He just told you that half a drop would knock out Grumpy, and you're doing it as this little fucking.
Well, he's not tasting it; he's just smelling.
He has a lot of fortitude though. He's a
Yeah.
dwarf.
I hope he rolls decently.
I'll have to roll it over here because it's not one to roll on the other.
He's got probably got like a +6 or something.
I got a +2.
What?
Yeah.
Fortitude, you add your con, man.
Yeah, you had your con again.
Your bonus, yeah.
You add your con modifier, so you have a +5 at least.
That's my bad. I didn't tell him that.
Yeah, no, okay,
be.
so it's +4.
Might be you guys on that.
There you go.
14.
Go.
As you start to take a smell of it, you recognize that you know the smell as one of your family members is addicted to this stuff. It's Dream Lily,
Oh hell yeah!
and it is very strong. Dream Lily, as you take
Bro, is this like extract? God damn.
As you take a whiff, you kind of, James, for a minute, you kind of lean. You don't fail to say, but for a moment, you feel your head kind of roll back, and you get a nice buzz for a second as you kind of cork that thing back up.
Hey guys, you really
Uncle
Tara's
Charles,
Tara's
we need
alive.
to make
Tara's still making Dream Lily.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my friend here, and I'm gonna look. We keep this secret of where I got this from Uncle Charles if we ever fucking see him.
Is it that good stuff?
It's his addiction. Remember?
Ah.
Dream Lily?
Not for me. I had it, but you know.
I'm putting it up. I'm just gonna be like.
Do I notice that he's probably a little
Yeah, he kind of.
I'm a little freaked out.
He has a slight when he kind of stands straight and kind of like tries to reorient himself. You do notice that his eyes are still a little bit red, and he definitely looks like he's kind of like staring a little bit harder at things. Like he's trying to kind of focus his head a bit more than he's showing on. As you cork it, James, without an appraise, just by kind of the feel about it, you start to notice this bottle is specifically designed not to crack on with ease.
Thank fucking God. It's not.
Alright,
going
what's
very
the
easily in
list
my
of
bag.
items we're getting? I think you should probably head back and probably lay down. I don't want you passing out on the
hungry now.
street. Hey, we paid a gold. Go ahead and eat, man.
We'll do that when we get back. We have things to do.
You gonna be okay?
As James just kind of like shakes his head a little bit, breathes in deeply, kind of steadies himself for a moment, starts walking again.
Okay.
We've got this.
You start heading
No one
down.
knows you did drugs.
You start heading down the main road. We're gonna come back to you two in a minute. Essa, you see as the party kind of heads off a side road. As you realize they don't head to the apothecary on the main road.
Shit.
You notice they head to apothecary on one of the side roads that are more well known for using experimental and more live materials.
Yikes! Well, do it now.
You also remember Igu. Igu is one of the few people who's managed to blow up a quarter of this town multiple times, and has his shop on that road.
He's a nice guy. They'll be fine.
Yeah. But as you head towards the adventuring or the Forge Hands adventuring guild, heading down the main road, you see a couple of shops again, kind of opening up. You kind of head down towards this large guild, the three pillars still standing impressively with the carvings of different dragons designed into it. No one specific, just general carvings. You kind of you go to open up the doors, the bell rings, and the entire place goes quiet. You see most of the adventurers kind of eyeing you up and down, kind of like starting to go off into their own little groups and corners. It seems the cheer kind of dies down, but you see Hago over in the corner, drinking with a group of adventurers. One who you recognize almost immediately as Araxnor, a black dragonkin.
I won't say anything as I walk in. I'm walking over. I have a person that wants to meet with me. I'm meeting with Hago. I'm just gonna walk over.
Yeah, as you walk over to the table, he kind of Araxnar looks up at you, and you met this gentleman before, a kobold dragonkin who, like you, is kind of treated as lesser, having his clan having been wiped out from what you've heard stories of in the area. He has had a major stink for you the entire time you've been in town. And seems to continue to stare and glare at you any chance he gets, taking any jobs that he sees that you take just to make sure he gets to them faster. He's just been nothing but an ache to you for no reason, as you've never met this person before.
I'm gonna look at Hago. I'm not even gonna acknowledge this guy. And I'm just gonna be like, so I was told you wanted me specifically for something?
Oh, that's a
Damn.
long time no see, as he kind of sways with his ale in his hand, and he kind of stands up,
Yep.
towering over you, kind of puts his hand onto you, tries to lean, and then as you start to kind of fall with him, he kind of steadies himself falling in, and goes, I forgot.
You're small.
I'm an archer.
You're the same size as my daughter. Oh. All right. What did I call you here for a second? As he looks about and he goes, oh, yes. And Araxnor just glares as he kind of like starts sipping like over his ale glass as he's sipping it. As Hago kind of stands up and kind of walks away with you, like under his arm, pulling you along with him, whether you want to or not.
I mean, I'm going. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
he brings you over to the wall where there's a bunch of quests up, and he slams his finger down on one, and you see it's a letter delivery quest for a man named Thrid Stonehaft in the city of Purser's Last Hold, and he looks at you and he goes, "Yes, I've always liked you. So you're gonna do this job." And I'm gonna pay you half up front, and then Thread's gonna pay you the other half. All right.
All right.
You got friends now, right? To take with you, or are you going alone?
I have friends.
Good. I was gonna have to hook you up with my son, otherwise, and I know that would have been entertaining. As he kind of smiles through the drink as he takes another big chug. This is why I like you. You're a go-getter. You don't complain like the others do.
Yo, DM, why do my characters always have some random person in the town hitting on them? It's always because fucking Durali had the random guy from town, Ralph, and now I have.
You assuming he's hitting on you, but you don't. I mean, you don't know what much about this man other than the fact that
I
he's
don't-
strong as shit, and he's known as.
I don't think
Knuckle
he's hitting
Cruncher.
on you.
No, I'm talking about the sun. Because if he's
Oh.
trying to put me with the sun, I'm not talking about him.
You know, Alexian goes,
Every time.
if you've got a crew, I'm gonna put you on this job. You don't care. You just can't come back till you finish the job. So if you're coming back here, you gotta go do it. This is of utmost importance. Now I'm willing to offer you either cash, or I'm willing to offer you. He kind of like steps back for a minute, and you see him kind of like getting ready to puke for a minute as he taps his chest hard and then belches, and you see a little fish bone go flying out, and he kind of stands back up and goes, "I thought I lost it there. We're good." No, I'll offer you. What was I gonna offer you? He pulls off the quest board, or like the piece of paper, and reads it, and goes, yes. There's a small skyship that's kind of mostly broken, but I'll offer it as a quest reward. It may or may not be wanted by the people we taken it by, but that's where it's not important.
DM, Do I know how much even broken a skyship can sell for roughly?
Well, they're only made by one race specifically, well,
Yeah.
two races specifically, and that's the Cloud and the Storm Giants. And the average will go. I mean, God, you've had ever seen one on market? To be honest, you know they're not sold quite often. Even broken is almost impossible to find one that'll still operate.
Okay.
It takes an understanding of the magic to use it is the biggest issue, which is why most people don't bother trying to steal the damn things.
Tell you what, Hago. I can do the job, but I got a quick job to do before that I've already agreed to do. Then I can come get the letter, and I'll leave immediately and deliver it. Sound good?
He looks at you and goes, "This is why I like you. This is why I like you." Yeah. He goes, he kind of shoves the paper into your chest, kind of slightly pushing you back,
Yeah.
not meaning to. He goes, "It's yours."
I don't know if you understood.
He goes, "It's your job. If Araxanor bothers you, come let me know." As he kind of looks over, and you see Araxanor as you look back at the table is gone.
Yep.
We're gonna
That's-
have to beat up a dragon again.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
And he goes, "All
Listen,
right."
I'll happily bonk him over the head and loan you a club so we can all just give him a nice little blanket party.
We're also,
If we do that, we're probably gonna get
Bedroll.
arrested.
if you manage, there's a bounty out right now, if you're curious. I know you don't do bounties. I know you said you're not big on the apex creatures. I understand that. We haven't found anybody yet to take that on. I'm still looking, though, and I'll let you know if we find someone. He goes, as he kind of like takes another chug, he goes, "But
Meanwhile, Ton in another country, I want to fight something.
we are looking for a mage. If you manage to find any freelancers that are looking for jobs, this guild needs one. We need a mage for the guild itself. We're paying good. If you find one and you can recommend him here, I'll pay you a bonus for it for a finder's fee.
Arcane specifically, or?
Arcane is preferred. We've got a cleric in shop to take care of the people who keep thinking it's smart to go fuck with the rats."
All right. If I find someone looking for work, I'll send them over.
He nods and goes, "This is why I like you, Essa. You're a go-getter. You know," and he kind of drinks another, and you kind of see him suddenly like kind of lean back, and there's nothing to catch him as he slams into the floor.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I imagine he makes a dent into the stone floor.
He didn't give me the letter right. He just gave me the job post, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna walk off. I'm gonna show this to the others, and I'm gonna go pick up the wood I need for the longbow.
Yeah, if you're experienced, the gal behind the counter at the Adventuring Guild handles most of the actual requests. The posts on the board are just to get the adventurers' interest, and then they usually have to register. From what you've
Yeah,
seen.
so I'm gonna roll it up because I'm not gonna turn it in yet.
That's fine. As you kind of turn and head back out toward the guild, you kind of as you look back, no one catches your attention. So overall, the people seem to be just quiet and kind of keeping to themselves. As soon as you exit, though, you hear the uproar of like cheers and laughing start again.
Yeah.
They just wanted to get rid of you.
As you kind of walk
Man.
out, you see James and Rolliman walking down. James with a little bit more
Eyes are a
bloodshot
little-
eyes, and Rolliman looking a little worrisome towards James.
Ah,
Hi, Essa.
that's
How are ya?
that
Hey.
apothecary you recommended. It's I don't hate to tell you this, but that guy is in some shit. I don't recommend going to him. You might get caught up in it.
Into some shit. The guy on the main road.
What was his name again? James.
Ego,
I'm gonna
Ego?
point. I'm gonna
Ego,
point towards
Ego.
the building that they totally did not go to of the one I was recommending.
You see another very similar Wyvern that looks to be very well off and comfortable, kind of like working up about a couple of potions.
Hey,
as
I
one of the
paid it.
doors open.
I'm gonna lean in. I got what we needed. We got 2 drops for a Landerkin, 1 drop for a Drac, and half a
I'm,
drop for him.
I'm impressed you're alive when you went to Ego. You know, fair enough.
He almost broke a 300 ruby volcano peak.
Oh, only 300? That's a new record low for him. All right.
I caught it.
Yeah, he's
Did catch
broken
it.
far. He's broken far worse.
As you mentioned,
Should I have
this,
just walked
you see
off with it?
suddenly a small bear. When I say small, about 5 feet tall on all fours, in dark like black fur, running with a small saddle on its back. As you see Ego being holding on for dear life as the bear charges down the main road towards the exit of the main city or the main gate.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have enough
fine.
of it to probably knock out a large herd of either.
So I picked up. I didn't lock it in yet. The job from Hago that he wanted done for me.
What was it?
Letter delivery down to the Frost Giant lands.
Oh, I
really?
have a trade license for them from my family.
we're not allowed to take turn it in, take the actual letter until we're going to leave and not come back to this city because we have to do it in one run. However,
All right. How much is it paid?
we got an option, and I'll roll it for the gold amount to show at the bottom, DM.
Yeah, as he shows you, it says 300 GP for the entire job, 150 up front and 150 when you arrive.
So, the offer was either 300 gold in total, or a mostly broken down skyship that he's offering.
Ooh, a skyship.
His
Those
only
are hard to
warning
find.
is the group it was taken from will probably want it back. But my thought is, if we don't want to deal with it, we could probably sell the thing back to whoever it belonged to originally.
You don't think they're going to think we're the ones that stole it?
I'm gonna slowly look up at him. I'm a dwarf. You're a half elf, and we have a dragonkin, and we have a mule.
We're talking about Hago. He doesn't exactly do things quietly. They probably know he did it.
I don't know.
At the very worst, it's gonna be, hey, did you steal this? No, not really.
Oh,
We got a
well-
reward.
Well, no. If we get to that point, we're dead. But we could also just sell it to a different group, and then it's off our hands. Those things
That
don't
is
sell.
true. And that means we could sell it for almost as much as we want.
Hmm.
We
So,
could
something to
opt
think
for
about.
it.
Flat pay or risk for selling the thing. That's the choice.
I'd rather say we could take it. If it's nearly broken, we might be able to fly it low and over everything to get there.
We could. I mean, we got this job to do first. We can just think about it on the
We've-
road. Don't have to decide
we've
right now.
We haven't locked in the job yet.
Yeah, let's go back, rest up. I'm hungry again. Those rock chops, those
The burger.
Rock- no,
Yeah, the burger.
the thing,
Oh, the rock. Yeah, the rock heap. Yeah, the
rock heap chops
They look good.
are sounding really good right now.
James, you
Do
so you can kind of smell a slight dream lily scent in the around James.
I look at Essa. You know what Drew Millie is?
Yeah.
Pure action. Do I know how strong that is?
Roll me let's say a nature check.
Nature check.
Can I
Is that-
can I just say
do they
how
have
strong it
nature?
Oh,
is?
it's not nature. It's knowledge nature in that case. So it'd be just
Knowledge
check.
nature.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any ranks in that, but
So just a
So
knowledge.
it's just intelligence, right?
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I
Alright.
roll my my profession herbalism to tell how strong it is?
Yeah, but you're gonna be at disadvantage.
Sure.
Hey, not that bad.
18? Okay. All right. I'll give James a second to roll as well. Ooh, excuse me. All right, James.
I'm gonna just do this twice.
Yeah,
Oh,
no worries.
why are you asking for another dice formula? Why?
Yeah, it's just you just gotta do it. Just recopy it. Each time. Easiest way to do it.
It didn't want to do it. I had to retype it out.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, there's your first roll. Give you a second to roll again. There you go. All right.
12.
With an 18, you can roll them in. You can definitely tell this stuff is a pure extract. This isn't normal dream lily that you see people smoking on the side of the streets or smoking in herbal form. This is a strong extract. Your guesstimation is this is probably designed to hunt monsters that are in the 600 to 700 pound range to ingest some of this. Given the average Landerkin's probably around that weight class, you got an idea. James is probably pretty fucked up right now. James, with your disadvantage, yeah, that you can tell it's an extract because you've never seen Dream Lily in a liquid form before. But you're
My Uncle Charlie would have loved this shit.
Yeah, you're definitely not sure. Beyond that,
Uncle Trey would have
I
died
can
if we had this.
I can smell colors and taste sounds.
God damn it.
Back to the end.
Yeah, as you kind of take a second to contemplate that, as you heading back towards the inn, you see the your mule has been moved stalls over one, and this seemed to be set aside while a large, what looks to be some sort of landerkin itself that has been saddled has been stationed in where BK was.
That's
Um,
fine.
But as you climb the stairs, you start to hear the early dinner rush as you head in. Telossi kind of spotting you all, having one of the tables cleared as you kind of sit down and begin to order. She kind of goes about her business as you sit down and
I
begin to
need
eat.
a lot of water, please.
After a few minutes, she comes out with a big pitcher and just kind of sets it down next to him. As you all kind of sit down and start to decide what you want to do.
Well, with this, we could probably leave in the morning, and if it's got me like this, it's gonna do a lot more when someone actually ingests it, because all I did was sniff it.
Yep. So we're heading. We're gonna do the south one, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll be a lot safer.
Okay.
All right. Do
And
we
while
know?
yes, I'd like to try and get wyvern materials at some point, I don't want to fight one right now. They're big. I'm small.
Yes. What do those? Are they both carnivores? Those two creatures we're
I think they're
running
omnivores.
into?
Um,
Omnivores.
so Landerkin are omnivores. Drac are also omnivores. Embermanes are carnivores, and Wyverns are carnivores.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, going south is the better option for every logistical standpoint.
Yeah. I think we should be fine. If we run into one of them, how do you want to deliver this?
I think we should aim for the eggs.
I meant the
Are
if we have to fight them and we want to,
knock-
put them to sleep.
I
Drax
look
and
over at the
Lantern,
bow person.
do they classify as beasts, magical beasts? What classification do they fall under?
Landerkin and Drac are technically considered beasts.
Okay. I can handle beasts easier than magical beasts. That's good.
Okay. Well, yeah. Do you think you could apply this to your arrows and have it affect them if you hit it?
I mean, if you want me to, I can certainly try.
We could also try putting it onto a little bit of food and throwing it out in front of them.
If they're low
They're-
intelligence creatures, I'm pretty good at dealing with low intelligence beasts.
Okay.
Well, then
Do you think?
here, I'm gonna just quietly give Essa the bottle.
Yep.
You
Don't
should
sniff it.
probably hold on to that.
All right, I'll pack that up because I do carry other things of liquid, so I'll put it with my pints of oil that I carry.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. Can I roll a heal check to see if I have the? Well, what would I need to roll actually to tell if getting that directly into the bloodstream would work to just wreck them?
So that would be you could do heal in the case of like a difference of a medicine check. If you have knowledge medicine or anything of that, you
What
could
about
also,
poison?
Poison would also work.
Poison.
Yeah, because it is technically considered a poison by right.
I'll go with a heal check. That's a 26.
Okay, 26.
Ma'am.
Essa, I assume you're rolling.
I'm gonna try. Let's see. What can I? No, it's not bad for poison making.
Between the two of you, as you're kind of looking this stuff up and down, the easiest way is definitely ingestion, from what you can tell. Putting this on food or something of the sort would be definitely much easier. James, with your heal check, you know that you can shoot, you could pierce something with blades or arrows or something of the sort into the creature. However, you chance the fact that you might accidentally kill the creature by overdosing it with too much and directly into the bloodstream, where the material may not play well with the creature system.
I'm just gonna hit with
Direct putting it into the blood on your weapon is a last resort.
Yeah, it's
Or
Also,
if to fuck somebody else up.
keep in mind, James, these are pack creatures. If we accidentally kill one, they're all gonna get very angry.
We may want to ask yeah.
You are struggling.
Look, he's still high.
You guys are
It's not
never
that
going to
hard.
another dragon town again. These are all kobold names.
I remember their names. He's struggling.
You also have it written down, to be fair.
I do
I'm
not.
sure I didn't get it written down yet.
Well, I PM'd
I don't
you the
have them
names.
written down.
No, I PM'd you the names, I believe.
No, the
Or
only
just the
names
bill-
I got.
Oh, businesses.
The only name I got was Hoggo. You only
Oh.
gave me Hoggo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hoggo
I'm
Knuckle
sure
Crunch.
got it written down.
No worries. Yeah, Teluasi is her name.
Tell Luasi if there's any food scraps at the end of the night that we could take to utilize for this.
I mean, or you could just let me forage what they eat at their actual land that they eat normally, and I could just work with that. Both work.
Either will work. Food scraps will still possibly become in handy to make rations out of, or unless you can feed all three of us.
Okay, I know we're poor, but we're not that poor. Okay.
We're not that.
I look at my very, very broke coin purse. I look back up at him.
I think you have the
You're
least
not-
gold of all of us, to be fair.
You're not poor. I have 1 coin left.
Well, that's because I live on the land, so.
Mm-hmm. All right,
I
I'll pay
normally-
for stuff.
Teluasi kind of comes by your guys' table and goes, "Are you looking for any base adventuring gear while you're enjoying your meals? Any items you need?"
Bundle of arrows would be great.
I don't. Well, let me see if I have any arrows.
You don't. It's not a huge deal.
She kind of starts. She pulls out a list of hers. She kind of like starts flipping through the inventory. I don't really sell them, but you know, Kazasi might at the Humming Anvil. I know he sells
Yep.
weapons and items.
You have some rope?
I do sell rope. She nods.
Take a thing of rope. It'd be useful.
All right. Do you want silk or hempen? I sell it for about a gold piece for hemp and 10 for silk.
I'll get hempen, so I'll hand her gold.
She she kind of yells for one of the waiters to come over or run over and get the materials for you. And they come back with 50 feet of hempen rope. It weighs about 10 pounds for reference.
Yep, I think that's all I need.
I don't need anything.
I do not believe I need anything at this time either. Thank you.
She smiles and goes, "Oh,
Question. Is there anywhere open area no people go around so that I may be able to practice swinging my sword around a little bit? If you know what I'm saying.
Anywhere outside of town, unless as far as it goes, unless you're looking for a brothel, in which case you want to go down to the lower end of town. They do have those services. I didn't take your kind to be much of the type to be interested in scales, but you know, each their own."
I'm side-eyeing. I'm keeping an eye on on Rollerman over here now.
I am chuckling from my unintended
She just
Yeah.
answer.
She kind of looks at Essa and goes, "Watch yourself around with these lot." She kind of gives a wink.
James is just slow, just does a very slow turn to Rollman and goes, "I didn't know you swung that way, buddy." Known you 40
I just
years.
looked. I just looked to my big ass sword and be like, "It's not for show."
That's also
You kind of see a couple of the some of the other female adventurers, some of the Dragonkin and Drakekin, kind of eyeing Rollman up at that comment. Like, some look interested, some of them look concerned. One looks to be in fear.
Oh no!
I would get the one in fear.
You
You ready to roll intimidate or something?
Yeah, feel free to roll intimidate. Yeah, why not?
What kind is she? Is she that she's in fear?
She looks to be a very large Drakekin of like a purplish coloring for scales. She seems to be wearing a very robust like plate that's been through some stuff, as you see dents and like blackened marks from burns and such on it.
Why is she afraid?
Man.
She looks at Rollman up and down. Here, let me roll my thing.
Here's what's going through one of their heads, the ones that are interested
Yeah,
heads.
she looks up and down at Rollman, keeps like focusing between his legs as she looks up at him, like with this fear in her eyes, as she kind of like looks to kind of get up after a few minutes and grabs her stuff and leaves. As you
I'm gonna finish my food and go up to the bed and just zonk,
All right.
saying a prayer as I pass out, going, "I believe in myself and the magic within."
What an interesting day for this group I just met.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and Rollman, are you gonna stay down and enjoy the night, or are you gonna head up for the night?
I mean, I'll head up. We got work first thing in the morning.
Okay, and Rollman.
I'm gonna stay down and just look out the windows
Okay.
and drink. I just want to see what the streets look like
Okay.
at night.
As the night starts to go on, Essa and James quietly snoring in their own rooms. Rolaman, you start to watch the tavern kind of slowly fills as the night goes on, but as it gets darker and darker, it slowly kind of panters out, only until there's a few left a few members you recommend or recognize from earlier. During the lunch rush, as you kind of stare out onto the road, you start to notice the shadows slowly start to move. Give me a spot check.
Okay. Spot check. Oh yeah, baby.
Damn, man, these. Yeah, as you kind of watch out, you notice people kind of moving about in the dark, but it's just so dark, and the light inside the tavern is so
I do have
bright.
low light vision.
Yeah. And you're not sure if it's the fire flickering on the glass or what it is, but something kind of catches your or causes your night vision not to pick up a lot of the creatures specifically moving out and about, if there are any. You start to kind of watch, and as your vision kind of comes to almost an end at the end of the stable, you do notice a couple of large figures in the shadows just right outside of your range that seem to be right outside the stable, kind of looking towards it, and you do see the kobold from earlier, kind of panicking, standing out in front of the stable, kind of blocking the stable away from these guys, this group. You can't tell the numbers though from the with the darkness.
And I'll go up and sleep.
Okay. Okay.
Oh God,
As you
are you not
kind
gonna
of get
warn
up and
somebody?
head to bed, the night kind of goes on. You head up. You see James kind of passed out in on one of the beds. You kind of head over to one of them and kind of lay down and start to relax and slowly find yourself drifting off to sleep. As the next morning comes, you all kind of find yourself waking up. You come down to
I
the inn. What? Go ahead.
I head out to check on BK because it's a morning routine. Go out, sit with BK, and pray.
Yeah, as you come down in the morning, James, being one of the first ones to wake up, you see the kobold stable hand in the inn beaten badly. He looks to be missing one of his arms and looks to have been scarred, cut up pretty good. Um,
Son of a bitch. I'm gonna immediately go over. Can I try and heal check him?
yeah, go
See
for it.
how I can do. 21.
Yeah,
There you go.
you run over to his side and start helping, going through and trying to fix up any of the issue or the wounds, cauterizing what you can. After a few minutes of cleaning and
Wait, the spoon.
yeah, as after a few
Spoon?
minutes of yeah, because to cauterize a wound. After a few minutes of cleaning and making sure that the kobold was all right, you kind of patch him up and bandage up with what the inn offers, and he looks to kind of calm down a bit more, even though he's still shaking.
You okay?
He kind of looks at you for a moment and kind of puts his head down and starts crying like madly.
What happened?
The Telu looks over at you and she kind of pats his back. He's just completely crying, not able to speak. She kind of looks at you and goes, "Well, Drake or Dragonkin managed to break into the stables last night and stole all of the mounts that were stationed there, as well as almost all of the supplies from the stables."
I guess I'm doing some tracking rolls. All right. Sure.
Well, I guess I'm going to be killing some drakekin today.
Actually,
No one
that's what
take
I
my
want to
mule.
ask you about, because they didn't touch your mule or your stuff.
See, James is just like surprised that there's clear surprise on his face. Like, what?
She kind of looks at you and goes, "Yeah, the weird thing. What my young stablehand had mentioned when he came up in a panic before passing out was." He mentioned that they had mentioned your merchant company by name had sent them there to rough up the stable hand.
I haven't talked to anybody very much. I went to an apothecary to get something to put the Draken Land. I'm gonna fuck the name up again.
Landerkin.
Landerkin.
Good.
Shut up.
She kind of looks at you and goes, "So you
And
don't know a dragonborn by or a dragonkin by the name of Araxanor?"
Am I outside by
never,
this point?
I assume
I
you
have
and
never
Roman
heard
have
of
come
that
down.
name. Personally, never heard of that name.
As you two come down, you hear James say that. And
We just got into the city yesterday.
What's
Toulouse.
going on?
I just point out to the stable hand. I've done what I can to help him at least be stabilized.
Wow. What happened to you?
Kids,
They were
both are
attacked.
still crying.
I'm gonna re-explain the story to both of them.
Okay.
Randerkin?
Lander.
No, the guy's name.
He's not the guy.
The guy Araxanor.
Raxanar. Sorry, I mix names. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're fine.
Raxanar.
Man said Randerton.
I'm gonna call him that to
Raxanar.
his face.
Ooh. I haven't heard any name like that before.
Essa pauses.
He apparently paid people on our behalf to rough up everything and steal everything in the stable.
Essa kind of quietly just goes, "That motherfucker," and starts storming off.
I'm going with her. Asa seems to know something. We'll find out, and we'll try to get everything back for you.
What do you know, Asa?
As you two follow out after Essa.
I know the
I
fucker
have
hates
slow
me.
legs. Slow the fuck down.
Yeah, guy hates me. Don't know why. Never talked to him before.
As you kind of head down to the bottom of the stairs, you actually see, as you know, you see Hago actually walking up this. Rollman and James, first time seeing this about 7 foot tall, wide Drakekin, who you'd probably guess to be like 400 or 500 pounds. He seems to have some darkened scales that seem to slightly change color depending on the light. His hands are the size of Rollman's entire head. Just when he balls them up, he is. There's a reason he's called Knuckle Cruncher, as you see the bones on his knuckles or on his fists or scaled hands start to kind of pop up as he kind of looks up at Essa.
I'm just looking up at him a bit in awe.
He kind of.
You're like 2 of me fucking tall.
Essa, I've been drinking.
I know.
Araxanor came here and started some shit.
I noticed. He told people he did it in our name.
Well, that answers the second question I had then, and that also tells me
my company's name.
Oh, you're the bastard.
Bastard, excuse me.
I haven't met or talked with anybody other than Essa here in the innkeep.
Are your parents married?
Raxanor
My parents
told me
were married.
that you hired him. He said some dwarven fella traveling with Essa hired him to go and rough up the stable hands. I came here to take you out of this damn town. As he kind of cracks his knuckles.
He's got no money to pay him with.
I haven't paid anybody except for the guards to get in and the apothecary for the stuff so that we can do the innkeeper's quest.
Wait, you have no
Hago,
money.
the only time he was away from me was when I was with you, and Araxanor was right next to us.
He kind of takes a minute and kind of starts to think, and he goes, "I think he betrayed me."
Seems like
I
it.
would guess so. I even patched up the innkeeper's stable hand in there because when I came down, he was bleeding out.
You want me to try and find him?
Essa, he'd kill you in a heartbeat.
I didn't say deal with him. I said find him.
He's one of our higher ranked fighters. Like he's capable even compared to most of the guards around here. I don't think you have a shot even with your friend with the big sword. If you can find him, he kind of takes a second. I gotta put a bounty poster on him because he stole a bunch of money. He stole a bunch of coins from the guild last night.
He also, stole coins, stole the mount, stole everything from the stable of the inn.
I mean, he's probably got friends too. He's probably not alone.
Oh, he does. He's part of an adventuring party.
He is. He's part of one of the larger adventuring party, and he runs a good portion of it. You kind of see the gears twirl, kind of like ticking over in Hugo's mind or Hugo's mind for a minute. And he goes, "I got a new job for you if you're interested."
Depends on how much and what we're doing.
I need you someone to track down Araxanor and know where he's hiding. I don't need you to kill him. If you kill him, I'll pay you more, but I just need to know where his hideout is. And you see him kind of stroking his chin as he starts to kind of think.
All right. Do we at least know what direction he left town if he did, or?
Only way out of here is south. That's where most of the main roads head out. Dirt routes, I guess. As far as goes, if he's doing if he's making money, he's got to make money. Or if he wants to make coin, he's got to go to a town. The only towns that accept dragonkin around here are the dragon territories under Movasi, and then of course going down to the hill giant and stone giant territories.
Not only that, he probably wouldn't be able to take everything he got across a river too easily. So,
Landerkin
No.
don't swim too well, neither do Drak.
I'll look at
they are most
Teluasi.
likely stuck. He's most likely stuck on this portion of the continent.
She is back in the inn, up at the up the top of the stairs. So
I'm gonna ask her, go back in and ask her a question. Have you talked to Araxnor about the same quest you offered us, or does he know of it?
she kind of turns to you and goes, "Yeah, of course. I offered it to anyone who was interested. I offer. He took up like 2 other quests around town as well."
I want to point out to him, he also knows that I have a quest to go south as well, personally, and he seems to hate me. So he's probably waiting for us somewhere south.
Well, then this got a lot more tricky. We don't want to go north and come back through north, going through Wyvern and Embermane just for Landerkin eggs.
Or, looking at this the other way, as long as he doesn't notice us, we get 2 jobs done at once.
That's fair. That's fair.
I should warn you, so he's not much of a tracker like yourself. He was a. All I know about Araxnor is he was trained as a fighter. I know he's capable. I know he's managed to best the captain of the guard that serves here.
How well does he do against magic?
I've never seen him use the stuff. I know he's got some members that do. The group he works with, he's got probably 2 mages, maybe 3. Not very capable.
James, we're not fighting him. We're not going to win. We're just going to fight him.
No. I'm just making sure that if we have to, I can make sure we have a getaway.
The only thing I can tell you I know about him is the fact that he's got a hatred for Essa because of the fact that he thinks she's a black dragon.
Wait, that's stupid?
Yes.
See, this is where being a dwarf buys me a bit of racial fucking clearance.
Immunity.
James is gonna look back at us, look at him, and go, "But, you're not."
Wow. So, DM, I'm assuming I know the basics of black dragons have like the acid breath, right?
Yes, correct.
I like show my teeth and electricity starts crackling around my teeth.
Okay. Not a I apologize. I didn't know.
I'm related to song dragons. They prefer talking, singing.
I've heard of them.
Pretty laid back.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, we more collect stories rather than the dragons more collect stories than physical hordes.
As James and Essa have this conversation, Roman, as you're about to head out the door, Teluasi kind of speaks up for a moment before you exit. She goes, "I know he had a hatred for this one cleric. If that helps, there's a cleric that he hates more than Essa."
There is. Who?
As you hear from the distance, she kind of looks at she kind of comes out with Roman and kind of walks down. She looks and goes, "Some small fire giant fella. I don't know. He was going. Apparently, Araxnor is telling the story about him heading towards an inn or tavern out near the river, and apparently the 2 got in a scuffle, and it pissed him off enough. Apparently, got left on his ass by the cleric. I don't know much more."
I'm gonna use a breath weapon once fighting. If I fight Arthur, he's gonna be really confused. He's gonna be like, "Wait a minute."
But he goes, "Yeah, or she continues. She goes, "I don't remember the gentleman's name. I know he kept talking about it was a fire giant or something like that. I know he wasn't he wasn't a kobold. I don't know.
If he had trouble with one cleric, then we might have a shot.
If you're looking for him, he might try and look to see in the fire giant land, see if he headed that way. I doubt it. I doubt he'd be that stupid to go into the lands, given he'd probably be captured, but you never know."
I want to see Sana in action.
We'll focus on your job first. If we happen to come across him, we do. We'll share his location and move on. Or we'll kill the bastard and move on with our lives. One of the 2.
She kind of nods and heads back into the inn after that as the crying continues.
Essa's still like processing, just like, he really hates me. Take 5 seconds to make sure it's a different kind. All right.
I mean, he hates you enough to frame my ass, and he never met me.
When we're far enough away from those guys, I'll say, I mean, we do have that extract. I'm sure if you hit him with that Probably knock him out or even kill him.
That'd be fucking hilarious. His last few moments would be spent in absolute bliss. Or he'd have a bad trip like Uncle Charlie did once.
I'll say
and
I don't know
jump
about
into a
bliss. I
furnace.
think you'd start hacking and vomiting with that.
I mean, Uncle Charlie once smoked so much that he tried to jump into a furnace. So I don't know.
I'm gonna DMs are closest thing to a clear up here. DM confirm.
What?
So we can do a furnace?
If you took that much at once, it's not bliss. It's gonna be puking and horribleness,
Yeah,
right?
you'll puke immediately, and you'll
Yeah,
feel
it'll
horror
be
because
awful.
you'll still feel high, but you'll be violently puking, and you feel every minute
Yeah.
of it.
And if it's through the blood, puking's not going to help, sadly.
Nope, it's just gonna make you drive heave. Yeah.
So if you want him to be in unimaginable pain and horror, possibly. No, you can drag his body back.
All right, so game plan: we head south for the one mission, and I try to track wherever the fuck he went.
Let's
Mhm.
do it. I'll grab BK.
I'll help if I can. Do you have anything of his?
As you all walked off. Hago, you mentioned that specifically.
I'm saying that to Essa.
Oh, okay.
No,
Do you
why would
know
I?
Raxor have anything that
I
he
mean,
might
like
have had?
Hago might have something. Maybe I doubt it though. Being an adventurer, he really would just carry all of his gear and never drop it.
I'll look at this when we're getting BK. I'll look at the stable, see if there's anything left behind.
Yeah, give me a spot check or a search check if you're going to be looking for something specific. Spot is too general.
Search.
Search will be more like like just find something. Yeah.
Search. So let me see.
If he does really poorly, I'll also try search. This goes.
So I have a +4 to this.
Come on, Grumpy, you got this.
Come on, come on, come on. Hey.
17.
Okay.
As you kind of look about, you start kind of digging through some of the hay, kind of pulling stuff about, looking through you find some of the blood, and you find the poor kobold's arm.
I'm
But-
gonna take that back inside and be like, someone might be able
Yeah,
to
yeah,
attack
take that.
Yeah. As Roman
can't.
continues, though, looking and digging through, as James kind of turns around, goes up, and kind of peacefully tries to work that portion of the discussion out, because that's not going to be a total game freak out for the poor kobold to see his arm.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
flag down the innkeep and be like, get a cleric here.
Yeah.
I'm not strong enough to do this.
Yeah, as you kind of do that, Roman, you spot a couple of pairs of footprints, and while you can't track them, you do notice the footprints. Like as you look about, and you do see that there are 4 sets, from what you can tell. 2 that seem to be quite large, and 2 that seem to be quite small. When I say small, I mean small in compared to a drakekin, who would be very wide-footed. So the smaller feet would be like your size.
Mm-hmm. I do have something for this potentially. Give me a second. Because I can activate the scent ability, and I think that might be able to help.
I say you and Essa both have something for this, so
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we can work together with this. So you'll see,
yeah.
I draw my sword, and I get into some sort of stance that I don't think either of you would understand, but it's something significant to Roloman, and he's going to enter a hunter's stance.
I would
So I
understand
gain the scent ability.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Really,
start-
the people I trained with all use stances like you do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Essa kind of like admires as you kind of start to get into a stance, Roman, and like as the heat from your body and the what's it called? The sweat starts to kind of almost turn to a mist as you kind of start to focus. You suddenly pick up a scent or start to kind of smell around. Give me, I think that's another search check, or is that something else specific for it?
Wisdom or survival check.
Okay, I'll take a survival check then, or wisdom, either one, whichever is higher.
Mm-hmm. It says the typical DC for a fresh trail is 10. DC increases or decreases depending on how strong the quarry's odor is, number of creatures, age of the trail.
Yep.
So how smelly is he?
Yep. So you got to
See,
roll for it.
smelly
Let's see what
man.
you got.
Yep. I gotta go see survival. A solid +1.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Come on, big money.
15.
There we go.
Okay. As you start to sniff the air, you don't pick up anything specific for a moment. You kind of start to walk around the area and start to really try and breathe in. Then a strange, faint smell picks up of what you can only describe as some sort of very rancid smelling berry or very strong sweet wine that suddenly kind of kicks into your nose. And it's very noticeable as it's very fragrant once you recognize the scent. And you start to notice it goes out. It starts to lead you towards the direction of out of town.
All right. I know what way we need to go. A bit.
Yep. I'll start
That's
physically
good.
trying when we actually get to the gate.
Mhm.
Okay.
At least I'll try.
Rollman, I'm gonna need you to guide BK for right now. I gotta do my prayers. I'll sit in the cart while we go.
Sure thing.
Okay. As James
Which-
climbs onto the back of the cart, guiding BK and Essa, and Rollman, you start walking towards the gate. What's up, James?
I'll just do my prayer quietly, and as I do, after I do that, I will snip some hair from BK and try to start making some string as we walk.
Okay.
Busy my hands, because James is actually absolutely pissed.
Yeah, give me a craft check real quick. I would say bow making in this situation. If you don't have bow
Okay.
making, then it's just a general craft check.
I added that on as you told me to before.
Mhm.
That is an 11.
With an 11, you start to get a pretty decent string together. It's not the best you've done, but it holds as you start to kind of pull on, and it keeps you busy. As you all start heading towards the gate, James, you notice a couple people watching you fiddling with it, and like a couple merchants seem to admire your work as you go by, fiddling with it, but none of them seem to come towards you or kind of bother you about it. As you lot get to the gate, the guard's kind of looking over. James sees him and goes. You can see a sigh on the Dragonkind's face as he just shakes his head and just waves you through.
Yeah.
Look, I haggled my way in here for minimal amounts.
Essa,
They aren't happy with
you
me.
remember that this town only makes you pay to get entry, specifically if you want to trade, and you plan to do trades as a merchant company. As adventurers, you don't have to pay to trade, though.
Yep.
As you kind of head out, you kind of find yourself out into this wide open field,
My
forest in
entire
the
argument
distance.
hinged on adventurer merchants.
Merchants kind of going down, heading in different directions with massive companies of people walking out. There are tons of tracks in this area. As you
I was
look
gonna
out.
say, I have a few because the track DCs are set, so I have a few questions
Yep,
of
go
what the
for
set
it.
DC. The ground, is it very soft, firm, or hard?
So this will be firm ground because it's walked on so much.
Firm. How many people are in his adventuring group?
From what Rollman explained, was 4.
4 people.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
what
that's a
Rollman
minus.
picked up. Yep.
And what size are the people in the group? How big are they?
So Drakekin are considered large. Yeah, large at most.
Okay, those are both negatives for the DC. That's good. Okay, I don't have to roll super high, boys,
Yeah.
but I can
I-
still fail.
I'd assume you'd be
would
focusing
you like-
on feet that are the easiest to track.
I could burn a spell on you for this, but I don't think we need to.
Up to you. I don't need it.
Yeah,
The DC with everything DM gave me is 13.
Yeah, you start looking through. Yeah, I can see. I found the list you got there.
Yeah.
As you start looking through, the prints, they do definitely look very similar. You take a minute, and it does take you a second to really get an understanding of which are going where because the ground's firmness. But as you kind of look about, you do notice a very like a set of footprints that go off on their own direction and start following that are a set of 4, like what Rolliman had pointed out earlier when he noticed it. And you all start heading south towards the city, or in the direction of the city of Hrazla, the fire giant capital, as many believe.
Oh, he actually did.
You start following the tracks that direction.
Son of a bitch! That's not the way we need to go either for the original for the other quest.
And we will. Well, those are just the known territories of the monsters for reference. They do wander and do expand pride, so you still have a chance, just not as likely.
Plus, my thought process, Cameron, is since we just have to find him. If we find him, and then we can go on the way back, get the eggs, and then go back to town.
As you lot
That is
start to
entirely
head
fair.
outside town, heading in the direction, you start to the road opens up. Well, lack of road rather. The open fields in the forest kind of opens up, and you start to see the more hilly direction heading that way. Now, are you going to head towards Raisla, or are you just going to head towards the Landerkin first, and then hit it on the way back?
We'll
I
hit
mean,
the
the
We'll
longer
still
we
have
leave
precious
him,
cargo when we interact with them, so
That's your idea. Okay.
Yeah, less likely to get robbed by him if we.
yeah. Plus, the longer
Go
we
this
leave
way.
him, more likely he is to leave.
Okay. All right. As you head on his trail quick, you can definitely tell Essa from the looks of the tracks. They're only most less than a day's worth old. You're keeping pace from what you can tell.
they don't have a mule. They don't have BK.
You all start heading in that direction, and as we come to, you start to appear outside of the forest, coming to the edge of the forest, the trees all around you, the great wood forest, just kind of trickling into this area slightly with some of the thicker trees in here. You see in the distance, as you start walking, after about half a day's march, a very large bandit camp that has been set up on one of the hills where a full clear cut has been created around it, and you can see the tracks lead directly towards there. And that is where we're going to end session today. Thank you all for watching. Easy first session, no combat. For those who enjoyed the content, make sure to come back. This video is being recorded about a week in advance because we have 2 campaigns that are going to be starting a week late, so you'll be seeing this after that. After that, we will try and keep everything as regular as possible. So we thank you all for those who watch, and hope you enjoy the content. All right.
That was fun.